afternoon and welcome to Plough Lane, home of AFC Wimbledon for the Women's League Cup final between two giants of the WSL, Chelsea and Manchester City. And Chelsea might be the current holders of this rather splendid trophy, but Manchester City brings some really impressive form here, just one defeat in their last 12. It all bodes well and points towards a really exciting final between the Queens of the North and the Queens of the South. But who is going to reign supreme?
There's always a rivalry.
Come on!
Oh, that's outrageous!
North versus South.
Manchester City make their move! What a statement this is from Chelsea.
There's always a divide. North
Versus South.
Trophies not just desired, they are expected.
We don't always see eye to eye.
It promises to be feisty.
And the feeling's mutual.
You're not on my level!
The thing is, we're Queens of the South.
But we're Queens of the North.
She went for the chip and it's brilliant! 2-time winners.
Great day for Chelsea.
3 times winners.
The celebrations can well and truly begin.
But it's our name on the trophy.
For now.
Bring it on.
Sam Kerr for Chelsea, little dink, what a goal!
Come on, City. Bring it on.
Blue is the colour.
Box office women's football.
Come on, City.
Chelsea against Manchester City.
And we are expecting a sellout crowd here, just under 10,000 at Plough Lane. And thank you to that top draw lineup of Chelsea and Manchester City players as well for being such good sports and getting us all fired up for today's match. Chelsea have won the League Cup twice previously. They thrashed Bristol City 6-0 in the final last season as part of a domestic treble. Last month they knocked out Manchester United in the semis to reach this, their third consecutive League Cup final. Well, Manchester City have also fared well in this competition, winning the League Cup on 3 occasions before. Everton, Leicester and Tottenham were among the WSL opponents they defeated on their way here. It's the FA Women's Continental Tires League Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester City, and we are about 20 minutes away from kick-off. And of course, for a big final, you need some big hitters in the studio, and I have 2 of those with me today. Farrah Williams, former England and Reading midfielder, and of course Izzy Christiansen, currently of Everton. But Izzy, you know only too well what it is like to lift this trophy. You did just that back in 2014. Fond memories, I'm sure.
Very fond memories at Adams Park in Wickham, lifting that trophy. So yeah, as we can see there, rose the highest in the box, which I can rarely say in my career. So no, great memories.
Yeah, a fantastic competition. In many ways it's been kind of revamped, hasn't it, Farrah? And now, although it's kind of fairly new and it's perhaps not the biggest trophy in terms of stature, but also in terms of height, in terms of the women's game, it's an important stepping stone, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. And look, for these clubs such as Chelsea and Manchester City, a trophy is what it's all about. And you know, both teams have heavily been invested in, and I think this is a cup that they both want to win, and it sets them up for the rest of the season. Look, both teams are in form, so I'm looking forward to a really exciting cup final.
Interesting that a few teams have dominated, shall we say, Izzy, this competition. Arsenal had their fair share, then it's Manchester City, Chelsea just lagging behind slightly.
That's right, and I think Manchester City will be wanting to go one better tonight. I think that the stage is set for them, in my opinion, with a slightly weakened Chelsea team, with the absence of Frank Kirby, Erin Cuthbert, Jessie
Giving away the team news, we haven't done it yet.
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, so sorry.
We'll
but
do it
yeah,
properly in a
like I
second.
said, I think there's a real big chance there for Manchester City tonight.
Yeah, there is, but recent form in terms of these two, well, actually you have to go back a few years since they've had a victory over Chelsea, but this season they've faced each other 3 times this season, twice in the league and then once, of course, in that semi-final of the FA Cup from last season that was hanging over. But coming in, doesn't that give you some kind of mental edge, knowing you've beaten that opponent 3 times?
I mean, for me, I think it does. I think it gives Chelsea, you know, that slight advantage, having beaten Manchester City 3 times this season, but not just beat them, they beat them convincingly. So I'm sure Emma Hayes and her team are confident going into this game, but as Izzy mentioned, cup finals are one-offs. And, you know, and look, Manchester City with a full-strength squad now will want to be getting a victory today.
Yeah, they will indeed, but they know, of course, that Chelsea have found a way to unlock their defence. 3 times this season they found their way past them. And the Chelsea themselves, of course, have lifted silverware already, because last season's FA Cup that hung over to this season means that Emma Hayes had that treble-winning season last time out, and she'll be looking, you'd think, to get herself her hands all over this a little bit later on this afternoon. So let's hear now from the manager, but we're going to start with Gareth Taylor of Manchester City with Joe Curry.
You haven't been able to get the better of Chelsea in 3 attempts so far this season. Does that count for anything on a cup final day?
No, hopefully not, because those games haven't gone our way, but we've been close and we're getting closer. I think we're starting to look now like the team that I envisaged at the start of the season, and obviously getting players back from injury has helped us massively. So and this is a cup final. It's about who turns up and performs best. Usually is the one that walks away with the trophy.
How much are you looking forward to that tactical battle with Emma Hayes?
Yeah, it's always a good one. Yeah, we've just got the team sheet through, so we can see that Emma's always one you have to try. It becomes like a chess match, so it's always an interesting battle against her, and one I'm looking forward to.
Enjoy the match. Thanks,
Thank
Gareth.
you.
Emma, no Fran Kirby in the matchday squad. What's the story there?
Not very well, and Jessie Fleming got COVID, so had to make some changes to the team today.
It's hard to believe this is the first major cup final between Chelsea and Manchester City.
Yeah.
It's always quite feisty. Is it possible to pick a favourite for this one?
No, I mean cup finals, I think especially Continental Cup games, they've been extremely tough in recent years. I think I just looked around at the pitch. I think that will play a part in the game, but I think it's just two top teams that are certainly ready for the game.
Will it change your tactics? Haven't seen the grass?
No, for some you can eat your dinner off of it, for others you can't.
It's clearly been an unsettling week for the club as a whole. How has that impacted your preparations for today?
No, we just get on with the business of football and coaching and playing and keeping our minds focused on this. Like, we let other people take care of the business and the running of the club. That's their job, not mine.
Thanks, Emma. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Emma Hayes there, understandably not really wanting to get drawn into what has been a huge week for Chelsea Football Club, with the news that Roman Abramovich is going to sell the club. He's put it into the market. We know no more than that in terms of who is interested or what they might do with the club. But one thing's for sure, there's been enormous investment in the women's side of Chelsea over the last 10 years or so. So you'd expect there would be some ripples of uncertainty and maybe a little bit of anxiety even about what the future holds for the women's side.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Roman Abramovich has done, huge amounts for Chelsea as a club, both men and women. There definitely will be some uncertainty within the club, but look, who knows what the future holds. He certainly give massive investment into them, and that's helped towards the success the women's team's had.
Certainly has. It has been an enormously successful period for Chelsea. But let's turn our attention to Gareth Taylor's comments there as a chess game, he sees it as. Izzy, what does he mean?
Well, I think he's just referring to the tactical battle amongst these two managers. I think that himself and Emma Hayes have had some extremely intricate tactical battles over the last few years. And I think I'm very interested, especially to see how Manchester City's build-up play from the back and using Kira Walsh in that sixth play against the front three of Chelsea, because they're frightening. They're ready to pounce on any mistake. So I think for me, that's the tactics that I'm thinking about, and I think that's the chess match he's referring to.
They had a bit of a wobbly period, didn't they? But then they've got themselves back on track, City. Does the league position at the moment, does it kind of tell the full story of their season?
I think it tells a story, and they've had a lot of injuries, Manchester City. Now they've got, big players back, and they're starting to pick up form, and they're coming into this cup final in great form. So that's why I'm expecting a real good cup final today. But certainly the league table don't lie. Their form at the beginning of the season wasn't great, and they certainly started to pick it up.
Well, as I mentioned, we're expecting a sellout crowd here at Plough Lane today, which will no doubt please Kelly Simmons, the FA's Director of Women's Football. Joe Curry is with her now.
Kelly, thank you for speaking to us. The atmosphere is building nicely here at Plough Lane. Just give me an idea of what the Conti Cup final, how big an occasion it is for the FA.
Well, it's one of our big pinnacle moments of the season, really. We've got two fantastic clubs. First time they've met in a final. It's a sellout, which is wonderful for the players and everybody involved. Of course, live on BBC Two as well. So, it's a great occasion again for the women's game.
We've seen the Women's Super League, the growth of that globally has been coming on year after year. Give me an idea then of how many people you think might be watching today, where they can watch it, how they can watch it.
So obviously BBC Two, that gives us opportunity of a fantastic audience in this country, and then it's free on FA Player going out right across the world, so anybody can watch it anywhere in the world.
We've got two heavyweights playing today. It's a cracking opportunity, isn't it, to attract more fans to the game?
Yeah, very much so. We've seen with the new TV partnership we've got with BBC and Sky, some 2.5 million people watching live and highlights games every week of the WSL. And this is a chance for people today to see, two of the very best, and it should be a great final.
Well, Kelly, look, we're almost at kick-off. We'll let you get back to your seat. Enjoy the game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, starting for Chelsea today is the much decorated, and this season as well on fantastic form, defender Millie Bright. Kelly Summers sat down to chat with her and found out she's just as hungry as she ever was for yet more silverware to add to her glittering honours.
Millie, another cup final for Chelsea. Tell us what the atmosphere's been like in training all week in the build-up to this.
Yeah, really good. For us, we absolutely love being at finals. We love competing against the best, and yeah, ultimately, lifting trophies is the aim. So yeah, for us, it's been quite a quick week really, off the back of international, and then straight into a game, and then recovery, and then back to training. It's just a roller coaster, but that's the life that we live.
You are looking to make it 3 titles in this competition in a row. The last teams to do that were Arsenal between 2011 and 2014. What sort of statement would it be if you were to do that this weekend?
For us, I think it does show, our dominance, and that's something that we do want to show. We want to be consistent in, like I said, getting to finals and lifting silverware. We don't want it to be 1 year and then dip a year and then back. We want to be consistent, and it's about not standing still and constantly about driving and being the best. And ultimately, sometimes training's harder than the game. So that's what Emma wants. She wants it at the top level every single day, so that we can perform at the highest levels come game day, and put us in a position where we're ready to take on the pressure of the final. But yeah, for us it's about helping one another and keeping each other on the right path to success.
City then, obviously has become like a rivalry, hasn't there? Because you two have been at the top of English football for so long. Yeah. What's that rivalry like to play in?
It's brilliant. I think all the games that we've recently played against City have been, of high quality. There've been tackles flying in, the intensity is high. The players that we have in this league are of the highest quality. So yeah, when you're playing against them, it's in some moments you love it, in others you hate it. But yeah, for us, I think they've always been a rival, to be honest. I think any team at the top is your rival.
I think 10 of the 11 that started the Arnold Clark Cup final either played for Chelsea or for City. What's it going to be like playing against players that a week ago you were winning trophies with?
Yeah, for me, when I'm at club, I'm at club. I'm a Chelsea player through and through. When I'm at England, I'm an England player. But yeah, as soon as I step over that white line for Chelsea, I always say this, there's no friends in football. They're the enemy almost, and the opponent that I need to get the better of and to beat. So whether I'm with club or country, I'll do whatever it takes in that moment to win.
What kind of game do you think we can expect?
It's going to be brilliant. They're in form at the minute. They're playing really well, and I think all their players are in form. And they've got a lot to choose from. So for us, it's exciting. You want to play teams when they're at their best and they've got everyone available. That's what you want. You don't shy away from that at top teams. It's going to come down to being ruthless in the box, both ends, and I can see it being a fiery game.
She's grown and grown, hasn't she, Millie Bright? Both in importance to England and to Chelsea. She started all 26 games this season. She's in the FIFA team for a year for 2021. She's won everything that she can domestically in the game, and she just feels like she's really in the prime of her career at the moment.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the way that she's sort of emerged into this leadership role under Emma Hayes' management has been pivotal to Chelsea's success over the past few years. We've seen the absence of Magdalena Eriksson of late, the Chelsea captain. Millie Bright steps in and does a fantastic job. So she's been superb, and yeah, she's only going to get better, I think.
Yeah, let's have a look at Guru Wright and tell us her importance as well in the bigger picture, if you like.
Well, I think firstly, her coming into this Chelsea team a few years ago, she's added great balance. I think she's benefited again from Emma Hayes' management. What she offers the team is assists, goals, and I think her technical consistency is something which has been massive for Chelsea in terms of contributing around Frank Kirby, Sam Kerr, Pernille Harder. She's really added an extra dimension to their play as well, and as we can see here, the way that she joins in and her quality of end product is superb. You see there the assist for Jess Carter in a few games ago, 1-2, quick play, superb player, and a really, really big signing for them.
Let's turn our attention to Manchester City's Keira Walsh, and it's so easy to kind of like, you know, think, oh, she's been around for ages, you know, she's got so much experience. She's still 24 years old, Keira Walsh, and she, again, another player who today will play, you'd think, a really important part in if Manchester City are going to get hold of this cup. She's obviously had a really good run as well for England of late.
Yeah, look, Keira's come to form of late, and look, she's a fantastic player for Manchester City and a key player for them. I think what we're going to see today from Manchester City is what Keira's going to have to do without the ball. We all know how good she is with the ball and how she sets up attacks, but I think her positioning, as we can see here, intercepting play, is going to be crucial for this Manchester City team today. You can see her positioning again, just reading the game really well, sitting in front of Manchester City back four, and then starting attacks from deep. I think, for me, that's going to be key for Keira Walsh today, and the importance of her. Just here you can see her, you know, she can pick a pass out, long passes, short passes, but certainly somebody who's going to be a valuable player for Manchester City today. And also, she gets into these kind of range, she can score goals just like this.
As we can see there, the way that Keira contributes to Manchester City, I think Farah's absolutely right. Farah, you'd have liked one of those to drop to you on the edge of the box during your career. A fair few of yours found the top corner like that. And she's a player who's the modern-day midfielder. She's so pivotal in the build-up role for Manchester City. I think she's added an extra dimension, and I was at Manchester City when she was beginning her career as a 16-year-old, and the way she evolved in such a short space of time has been absolutely crucial to their success for this team.
Yeah, as I say, 24 years old, but with so much experience. It'll be interesting to see how she gets on today, as it will all the players on this pitch at Plough Lane. It's one of those kind of like March afternoons. It's a bit swirly, it's a little bit rainy, it's got all the ingredients with the atmosphere and the tight pitch of being an absolutely classic afternoon, and we've got some well-known Manchester City and Chelsea faces who wish to make their good wishes known.
It's trophy time. Best of luck to Gareth and the team in this weekend's Continental Tires League Cup final. Good luck.
I would like to wish the Chelsea woman good luck in the Conti Cup playing against Man City. I hope you retain the cup again. Come on, Blues.
Good luck to the women's team in the Continental Cup.
Hi, I'm sending a massive good luck to Chelsea women in the Continental Cup final. Come on, you Blues.
Well, I think Cesar Azpilicueta gets the most enthusiastic of those brilliant names there. Jolien Lescott, Katie Chapman, of course, at the end, and Kevin De Bruyne as well, with their good wishes. Thank you to them. It is the first piece of silverware in this domestic season that is up for grabs. The Continental Cup, the Continental Tires League Cup, to give it its full title. And enthusiastic Chelsea and Manchester City fans are packing the ground and hoping to create some atmosphere to will their teams on. And we've talked about that kind of importance of getting your hands on that first silverware of the season, how that can breed confidence as well, Izzy.
Well, yeah, and we spoke about Manchester City's form this season, this far. Hasn't been great to the start, and it kind of feels like they're gathering a little bit of momentum now. So what better way to add a trophy to top that momentum to allow themselves to finish strongly?
Chelsea have already lost 2 games in the league, which is the most they've ever lost in a league season as well. So Emma Hayes will be really keen, won't she, to kind of cement that kind of winning mentality that they've had of the last few seasons, and this would be a really good step towards that.
Yeah, look, Emma Hayes, I think that's what she's instilled in this Chelsea squad. I think, you know, the 10 years that she's been there, she certainly has made this group of players a group of players that have that winning mentality, and they ain't going to take this lightly today. This is a trophy that they're going to want to win, and obviously they're still in the running for an FA Cup and a league, so they certainly want to kick it off by winning this tonight.
Well, they know, of course, they won't face each other again in the league this season, and we get to see, of course, whether they do that in the FA Cup. But this might be the final time that Chelsea and Manchester City in 2022 season face each other, as the teams are in the tunnel here at Plough Lane, ready to come out for the first silverware of the season. Gareth Taylor's women have really had a resurgence of late in the league, and they will be desperate to get their hands on the Continental League Cup for the 4th time. For Chelsea, it will be the 3rd. They've won it the last 2 times out. And here they come onto the pitch, holding, of course, wreaths in the colours of the flags of Ukraine. There will be a moment to mark what is tragically happening over in Ukraine a little bit later on before the match starts. And I'm going to hand you over now to our commentary team this afternoon, Rachel Brown-Finnis and Robin Cowan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gabby. Hello, everyone. The first silverware of the 2021-22 season will be awarded tonight. In the biggest fixture to be staged so far, football continues to show its solidarity with those suffering in Ukraine. Captains of Chelsea and Manchester City lay wreaths in the colours of the flag to show all who are affected, whether abroad or at home, they are all in our thoughts. So just for today, the Women's Super League matters are put aside. It all comes down to this. By the end of the evening, one of these two serial winners will have their hands on the Continental Cup. Millie Bright, the Chelsea captain, presents the two officials to her team. Dawn Airy, FA Chair of the WSL and Women's Championship, and Laura Johnston-Brand, Marketing Communications Director of Continental, the sponsor of the Women's League Cup. Expecting over 9,000 here at Plough Lane for this much anticipated Women's League Cup final. Before the action gets underway on the pitch, it's time for the national anthem. Just before kick-off here, the teams will mix for a team photo combined. Rivalries put aside, a show of unity for the people of Ukraine. Well, these two teams have faced each other a lot, but it is the first time they will play each other in a showcase women's final. Let's have a look at the teams then for today's Women's League Cup final. Starting with Chelsea, two changes to the team that beat Leicester in the FA Cup last weekend. Fran Kirby is ill, Jessie Fleming has COVID, so Neve Charles and Guro Reiten, who scored the winner against Chelsea in the WSL last month, come in. Sam Kerr scored a hat-trick in last year's final at Vicarage Road against Bristol City. Two changes as well for Manchester City to the 11 that won the Manchester derby. Vicky Losada is injured while Jess Park drops to the bench. It's the two players that came on at half-time last weekend that changed the game who start. Caroline Weir and Hayley Rasso. Top scorer Khadija Shaw is named among the substitutes. So Rachel Brown-Finnis, finally we see these two fight it out for a cup.
It's quite unbelievable, isn't it, that they've previously knocked each other out at varying stages of cup competitions, but they are, for me, the best two teams in the country currently on form. We know that Manchester City had a really poor start to the season, which has put them behind in the running for the title, but they certainly have momentum going into this day.
So ready for the toss. Lisa Ben, the referee, recently promoted to the FIFA referees list last month. Millie Bright, the standing captain with Magdalena Eriksson, fit enough to be named on the bench. And Ellen White for Manchester City in the absence of Steph Houghton. So the final words of encouragement from the Huddles, Gareth Taylor, who will be hoping to lead his team to another final, this time one where his fans will be there. 2020 FA Cup winner at an empty Wembley Stadium, Emma Hayes, targeting a third straight Continental Cup with her Chelsea team. They have made this trophy their own. We are nearly ready for kick-off here at Plough Lane. And as we've seen, all top-level football matches in this country, players take the knee to highlight their opposition against all discrimination to a heartwarming reception. Bit of a false start. Camilla Harder and Sam Kerr ready to go.
Straight out the blocks there, weren't they?
Good to see their enthusiasm. And Ji So-yeon will get us underway. The dark blues versus the light blues. And a really significant game for both sides. The winner will, of course, receive a huge boost going into the final stage of the season. The loser, well, it could have a big impact, Rachel.
It certainly could with regards to momentum. We saw how Chelsea just got over the line in their home game against Manchester City, which arguably was a pivotal game in the title championship race. And they were at a point where City were just about getting back into the form that they would expect to be in. So many injuries coming into the start of this season.
It's harder for Chelsea. Dixon in towards Kerr. Alex Greenwood there mopping up, and an early chance for Chelsea.
Was a lovely little dink ball in. Alex Greenwood has been monumental for Manchester City this season and for England as well when she's played in that left centre half before. And here you can see the pace, the power of Harder. It's what she does, it's what she's done time and time again. She can drive with the ball herself, she can provide.
Manchester City trying to play their way out the back, but Chelsea's trying to pressure them high, forcing Ellie Roebuck into a long clearance. It's not the greatest of clearances there from Alana Kennedy, but Manchester City get away with it. A long ball forward for Ellen White to chase. It's going to be cleared up by Aniek Nouwen, Dutch international. It's nicely played by City. A bit of space here for Demi Stokes, pursued by Charles. It's good work from Niamh Charles.
Excellent work there from Niamh Charles. City, when they've gathered this momentum in the last 5, 6, 7 games, they've been so dangerous down the left-hand side. That combination of Demi Stokes and Lauren Hemp have been their main source of success. Of course, getting Lucy Bronze back fit down the right-hand side. I don't think she's quite back to her best.
To undergo her 5th knee surgery of her career, Lucy Bronze, so still working her way back up to full fitness. Charles nips in. It's a good run by Kerr, and they've turned the Manchester City defence. Options in the middle. And again, terrific defending from Alex Greenwood.
Yeah, excellent covering of that left-hand side. Sam Kerr just paused as she looked up to cross the ball, and it allowed Alex Greenwood that extra yard. See here, she's to drive in across, but she didn't have much support in the box. Excellent covering from Greenwood. It's going to be a left-footing swinger.
A left backs for so long, Alex Greenwood, and now making the centre-half position for Club and Country her own. Wrighton takes it short, changing the angle of the cross for Carter. Again, it's Greenwood.
It's been a bright start from Chelsea, for sure. You could see what the game plan was from Pernille Harder when she jumped the gun on the kick-off. They've certainly put Manchester City on the back foot in these opening exchanges.
Same corner routine, Carter. Now Wrighton. Teasing looking crosser, and Ellen White header straight towards her own goal. Still not cleared. Eventually she does enough, and she is absolutely furious there with Pernille Harder for perhaps going down a little bit too easily.
I have to say, Ellie Robert did excellently well there. As you said, it was trying to be cleared by Ellen White. Goes inadvertently to Sam Kerr, completely unmarked in the middle on the 6-yard box. And Ellie Robert, Manchester City goalkeeper, read the situation brilliantly. Had she not intercepted that, it was a clear chance for Sam Kerr. What a huge bonus it is for Manchester City to finally get their #1 goalkeeper back.
Well, so many players out injured in the first few months of the season. They won just 7 of their first 14 in all competitions. Title chances are gone. Still in with a shout of getting into those Champions League positions. They are 5 points off Manchester United, who won their game earlier in third. Kira Walsh, so composed at the heart of the City midfield. The 5th final she would have started in the Continental Cup. Charles looking very comfortable up against Stoke so far.
Yeah, she's arguably got one of the hardest tasks in the Chelsea team, and that's trying to recreate what Erin Cuthbert has brought pretty much every single performance, week in, week out. She's been outstanding on this right-hand side of midfield for Chelsea, both in her defensive elements as well as her attacking part of her game. She's brought goals, pace, tenacity, everything you can ask of that position. So far, so good from you, Charles.
That's a big touch from Berger. And Hem tries to play in Ellen White. Rasso will try and get there. Rasso brings the ball away. Both teams, both keepers rather, trying to play those short, risky passes and nearly causing a few problems for their own team.
That unfortunately is the downside of playing out the back, is it looks risky, it looks short, and at times a little adventurous.
Good clean challenge from Millie Bright, and a free kick given to Chelsea. Harder on the end of that challenge. And Katrin Berger nearly caught out.
You see the ball bobble a little bit. Emma Hayes will be blaming the pitch for that. She mentioned it pre-match. The London Broncos rugby team play here, and it's probably not the surface that they are used to, but you just got hit it first time there. There's player closing you down as a goalkeeper. It's an unfavourable bounce for the ball. Just got to go.
Bronze, pressured by Kira Wrighton. Just wonder if Ellen White made a little bit more of that. Possible penalty shouts.
Goalkeepers Union, absolutely not.
I'd expect anything less. Official statement from the Goalkeepers Union. Always quick out the blocks with those ones. Here's White. Played Kira Walsh into a bit of trouble. See Chelsea, when they lose the ball, they're winning it back very quickly. Carter. Millie Bright. He's featured in all 27 games this season, started all of them. Not too much on that for Kerr.
Going back to Ellen White, heard a few podcasts over the years with her, and she's talked recently about how she's changed her game a little bit, certainly changed her training methods, thinking about things more, do more off of the pitch rather than on the pitch, fine detail, reading of situation. She read that situation excellently. And it was the same last week against Manchester United. It was a header back that was too short, she anticipated it. That's what you get from a senior England international who scored endless goals for her club and country.
City played their way into trouble once again. Lovely turn from G. It's harder. And it's held by Roebuck with Sam Kerr ready to capitalise if she made an error.
It's certainly a risky game that Manchester City are playing out the back. I'd suggest Alana Kennedy's not the most natural of ball players. On that occasion, Ellie Roebuck read the situation well. Only a dinked ball, it wasn't too far for it to come. She came quickly and convincingly.
City as a starting point, playing those short passes. Clearly feel that's the best way to go about things, but it's another crossing from Sam Kerr.
Yeah, but as the goalkeeper's prerogative is to make those decisions on the pitch at the time. Of course, the idealistic way of playing is to play out the back, and that's what they want to do, but it cannot be the only option. If Chelsea are going to pin them in, and it's going to be endless points of pressure. The goalkeeper's objective is to clear danger first and start attack second.
We're dispossessed by Ingle now. Harder. He's got a hat-trick in the quarter-finals of the Continental Cup. It's West Ham, just making her way into the penalty area. Well-timed challenge there from Georgia Stanway.
Watching Sam Kerr's movement is excellent. She's dragging off the back shoulder of Alex Greenwood, creeping in between Demi Stokes and Alex Greenwood, seemingly unmarked at times. With the speed of attack of Pernilla Harder down that left-hand side. Dangerous.
Carter, promising ball. Greenwood chasing Niamh Charles back all the way, and Charles manages to win the corner kick for Chelsea.
Fantastic work rate from Niamh Charles. She's run up and down this touchline already in the opening 10 minutes. She's been the busiest of the two flanks for Chelsea. Really earned the right to get a corner from that.
Once again, Brighton, she's taken it short the last couple of times.
Packed box though this time.
Very packed, 6-yard box, congested. Not the greatest delivery, but it's not cleared by City. It's a little bit messy. Eventually, Georgia Stanway puts her foot through it. Carter will send it back in. And some claims for handball. As City bring it away with Rasso. Onto the dangerous Lauren Hemp. Ellen White just lost her footing.
You looked at the player overload there from Manchester City. It had two players unmarked down the centre. Just found that switch.
Ji So-yeon manages to roll the ball to Wrighton, and it's cleared by Greenwood out from underneath her goalkeeper. This is all a bit ragged, especially from Manchester City. Out of play and a goal kick for City. Let's have a look at this handball shout for Manchester City. This is the chance for Chelsea, first of all.
Yeah, well read there again by Alex Greenwood. Sure if Roebuck would have got it. Yeah, it certainly strikes the arm. Absolutely no doubt of that. It strikes the arm of Alana Kennedy.
Well, Lisa Benn can't give what she can't see. And it was a difficult angle for her. Very similar to the one Chelsea didn't get against Arsenal with Leah Williamson a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's the nature of where we're at technologically wise. We don't have VAR, and if the assistant doesn't see it, the referee doesn't see it, you can't give it. But if it had gone to VAR, that would have been a penalty. Simple as that.
throw from Carter, and once again Greenwood is there. Reading of the game has been excellent so far. He's played in every single match for Manchester City in every competition this season. Early exit from the Champions League. Chelsea also out at the group stage. Just puts a little bit more on this competition as well for both. Oh, the lovely flicked header, no one there. Running in behind. Roebuck will place the pass for Stanway to Hemp. Ball just stuck under her feet. And a fair challenge from Hayley Rasso, according to the referee. Rasso still there. Nearly found Ellen White. Walsh now. Stanway. Take a shot from distance. And White! Flag goes up. Nearly perfect improvisation from Ellen White.
George Stanway had a real chance, didn't she, from the edge of the box. The Chelsea defenders had just dropped off. Ellen White was offside from that. It would have been ruled out, or has been ruled out. But great attack. Hayley Rasso shows immense determination. That's the type of player she is. She run through a brick wall for her team and only stopped by Jess Carter. But it is quite ragged. Neither team really dominate, really stringing a number of passes together, considering they're two quite free-flowing teams. Happy to go long, happy to play short. Teams that often dominate possession in games. Maybe this is the chess match that Gareth Taylor was talking about.
Well, I usually think that when you hear the word chess match, we've got a football match, usually code for boring, which this is not.
Northfest, absolutely not.
Anything but a chess match.
Chess fans would completely disagree, right?
It's a bit of a Luddite when it comes to chess, to be honest. So let's have another look at this handball.
Yeah, hits a flush on the arm. Lucy Bronze.
Didn't know much about it, but doesn't really matter.
No, intent doesn't come into it, does it? It's within the position of the arm, or sorry, shirt, end of the shirt, to the bottom of the arm. It would have been handball.
Rasso, good start to this game. Bit of space here for Demi Stokes. Slows things down. Walsh in support. Just took a right off the ball. Niamh Charles was there to nip in. Sophie Ingle with the first time pass straight to Georgia Stanway. Lucy Bronze. Hemp in support. Bronze chips it straight at Katrin-Berg.
That's a great counter-argument, that. Katrin-Berger, like, if you're going to try and chip me, Lucy Bronze, I will place it perfectly over your head and into the path of my forward. Do well to beat Katrin-Berger from any angle, let alone that one.
Leah. Really bright, touch tight. White will put and Katrin-Berger under pressure. Chelsea unbeaten in the last 9 meetings with Manchester City. Certainly got the better of them in recent years. Manchester City have 3 Continental Cup titles to Chelsea's 2. That could change today, of course.
3 in a row for Chelsea would be some doing.
Second season for Gareth Taylor. It's been a little bit fraught one, but finally this team showing the form they have done since their introduction to the Women's Super League.
Any plans that he would have had to imprint philosophy this season was scuppered with think it was 8 or 9 first teamers who were out not just for the beginning of the season, but for pretty much a good half of the season. And it's no coincidence that post-Christmas their form has picked up and they've made a real push for the title, certainly for third place Champions League spot, if not better.
Should mention still without Esme Morgan, defender Chloe Kelly all season, recovering from an ACL. Chelsea also have their issues today. Frank Kirby out with illness, Erin Cuthbert not around through to injury. But in Emma they trust very much so. Why not? 7 years and 11 trophies in the last 7 years. The decade she's been in charge. The club has grown slowly but surely.
Emma Hayes is absolutely a huge part of why Chelsea are where they are. The staff base that she has built over her tenure, the respect of arguably not just Chelsea women's football, but women's football in general has been a huge part down to not just the work that she's done on the pitch, but how she carries herself professionally.
Stokes clipped. They missed time challenge for the first time really today by Charles. And a free kick in a good position here.
Read a stat, Chelsea have not conceded from a set piece all season.
So might be able to change that. Some good deliveries of the ball, but Chelsea's defence overall in open play and from the set piece exemplary this season.
Players like Pernilla Harder can get back, and a fantastic Millie Bright. Anik Nguyen, I think, has been excellent. Jess Carter, all fantastic headers of the ball. Sam Kerr, even though she's not, hugely tall.
It's going to be Alex Greenwood to take this free kick. It's easily defended by Chelsea. Stokes with a helpful ball back in. And Ellie Roebuck has come very far out of her goal, and that was the right decision. Guro Wrighton pacing up the pitch.
It was actually a great starting position. I was watching where Ellie was from the free kick, and soon as, I think it was Niamh Charles who broke straight down the middle, I didn't quite catch who it was. Ellie Roebuck was already splitting her 18 and centre circle, ready for that through ball, ready for that release. Really good spot from Ann-Katrin Berger as well.
Nearly 9,000 plus. Some good headwear on show.
I do tongue-in-cheek question the neutrality of this ground, given Kings Meadow is probably a stone's throw from here.
Got a decent arm, yes. That was raised by Gareth Taylor yesterday in his pre-match press conference that Chelsea's ground 5 miles from here, whereas Manchester City's is a little bit further than that, but technically a neutral venue. Was chosen, of course, way before Chelsea booked themselves a place in the final.
Been part of northern teams in the past, we found ourselves in a similar situation previously. No, it'll make no difference to either team, none whatsoever. Teams are fully professional nowadays. They're used to being on the road, preparing for games wherever they are in the world. We've just come off of an international break, and players have come from literally all over the world to get their final preparations in for this cup final.
Midway point of the first half, no goals. Bit of a frenetic start. phrase out of play, but Ji So-yeon, South Korean, showing some elegant touches there. It's a technical player, aesthetically pleasing to watch. And that was fairly blatant from Niamh Charles.
Nothing technical and fancy about that particular situation.
Well, talking to from Lisa Benn, and that's it, and I think she might be a little bit lucky.
Well, I agree, but I like that Lisa Benn has taken into account maybe the magnitude of the game, of maybe how much ground Niamh Charles has covered already in this first half. But yes, I would count her very lucky.
Replaying the ball on occasion. Greenwood goes deep and taken by Katrin Berger, who bowls it out, and City look a little light at the back, but Sam Kerr can't take it in her stride. Frustrated with herself.
Really good covering from Caroline Weir there. It was Lucy Bronze who nearly got on the end of that whipped in free kick from the left. And Katrin Berger saw that gap then.
Lovely ball from Greenwood, inviting Lauren Hemp forward.
Chelsea, you can see why they haven't conceded from set pieces. Whether it's the goalkeeper coming and sweeping up, collecting things, taking the onus off the defenders, having to defend. And when they're out of possession, they go into a back four. In possession, back three. Gives them numbers.
Kennedy being put under pressure. Is forced to just get it away. Lovely play from Lauren Hemp. Works her way out of a tight spot and finds Stanway. Here's Bronze. Rasso, great movement from Stanway. There's a great ball off the post. Stokes. And a huge shot for a handball off Sophie Ingle this time. City couldn't have come any closer. A mighty scare for Chelsea. Here's Hemp. A bit of a wrestling match between Greenwood and Sam Kerr.
Wow, this is as close as it's going to get. I was watching Caroline Weir. Her run to the near post distracts players, and it's Niamh Charles who just loses Lauren Hemp, lets her get goal side. She'll be kicking herself, and I feel that that is a handball. That strike. The rebound, I think it's Rasso who hits it. Sophie Ingle has her arms out to the side and hits the underside of her arm. But all in all, huge let-off for Chelsea.
Well, that's perhaps one each in terms of handballs.
Gosh, I mean, it's as blatant as anything, isn't it? Arms up, which naturally when you jump, of course, that is the tendency. The arms were high above her head and the ball strikes her on the arm. Absolutely 1-1 in handball shouts. First time we've seen Man City really break them down.
Sophie Ingle trying to thread it through. Greenwood makes the clearance. Ellen White can't hold it up. Charles, give and go with Pernilla Harder.
Both teams can breathe, can't they, for a minute. It was wonderful play by Manchester City.
England manager in attendance, Serena Wiegman. looks slightly less cold than she did at the Arnold Clark Cup, but getting used to the good old British weather.
I wouldn't say enjoying it, but certainly.
Oh, and Manchester City caught out here. Chelsea can't get through, and City make up for a pretty big error. They're treading a tightrope at the back.
I don't like square balls in the box, and I know that wasn't one there, but Alex Greenwood a bit too casual, taking the ball off of Ellie Roebuck for a goal kick. You know, it's almost a square ball because it doesn't move. It allows the attackers to press you down. You've not got anywhere. If the keeper or the centre half takes the ball and plays it short to a centre mid, that's fine because you've broken a line.
Well, you don't want to concede a goal in a cup final full stop, but you just feel a goal like that you really, really don't want to concede in these circumstances.
Exactly, in such a tight game when you know quality, play for player, there's not a lot between them. End result wise, teams being able to get results, get over the line, there's not a lot between them. To edge it in an awful way as that would have been, especially when they've been given a warning sign a couple of times already, Manchester City.
Space for Stanway to stride forward. Trying to pick out Rasso. She's quick, but she's not quite that quick.
Yeah, Anderson closed down the space brilliantly. Went back to that back four when they're out of possession. Got goal side, made it very narrow, the pitch. Just ran out the space.
Well, backing off Stanway.
Yeah, I think if Rasso would have held out wide, there would have been more space. Would have dragged the back four and created gaps between them. Just ran in a straight line here, Rasso.
It's Chelsea who hold all domestic trophies at the moment anyway. That could change by the end of the night. Won last season's FA Cup this season against Arsenal just before Christmas. Going for the Women's Super League title. Flicked on and Pernilla Harder was offside. Flag was raised quickly. Best seats in the house. Probably free tickets, I'm assuming. Or maybe a large mortgage.
Pay-per-view in that house.
And that is some get-up. Summer can't come soon enough. Viewers, you wish you could see Rachel Brown finish looking like a member of South Park here.
Needs must, Robin.
No, you're professional. Bit chilly here, Plough Lane.
Being a goalkeeper, you have mental tactics to keep you warm. Generally, you do.
Every time I think the game's calmed down a bit, there's either a mistake or a counter-attack.
He's talking about Ellen White preempting situations, reading the cues of what might happen, and that's the same with Chelsea. They've got Sam Kerr, Pernilla Harder, experienced, you know, world-class players, top of the game world-class players, captains of their countries. They can also do that. So it's not just about teams' mistakes, it's about the opposition reading all those really subtle cues, those thousands of hours of game practice where they've read those scenarios and they can look at what might happen, preempt things and get themselves in those positions to take advantage of a subtle mistake.
Slide rule pass to pick out Harder. Sam Kerr making her way into the box. Harder sits Alana Kennedy down. Kennedy's done really well there. from being on her backside to getting up and stopping one of the most dangerous players in the world. Early cross in, it's towards Sam Kerr. Ellie Roebuck does well initially, but Sam Kerr, on instinct, turns it in and gives Chelsea the lead. Deadly in the box. No surprise, it's Sam Kerr.
Lovely to see her embrace Erin Cuthbert as well. No doubt she'll have had a little bit of insight in what to expect against Manchester City, but it's a mistake between Demi Stokes, Ellie Roebuck. It's a lovely ball in. Don't take that away from Gura Wright, and really nice ball. It hangs it up, but there's time for Ellie Roebuck to call that off. If she does, Demi Stokes hasn't listened and hasn't blocked Sam Kerr. That's her job. If she hears the goalkeeper shout, she has to shield the goalkeeper and hold off Sam Kerr. If there's no shout, then the goalkeeper has to hold her hands up and take responsibility for that. After that, it's a wonderful swivel and finish. Manchester City will be desperately disappointed that it's crept over the line. 4 players, ultimately, it's gone past. We said it might be something a little bit scrappy, a mistake. It might gain the advantage for either team. And that is the case for Emma Hayes' team.
She didn't even need to look. She knew where the goal was. Big player for the big occasion. City have nearly let Chelsea in on a number of occasions during this first half. Finally, Kerr takes full advantage. Here's Rasso showing her pace. It's a decent ball to the back post to Lauren Hemp. And Caroline Weir, you can see what she was trying to do, but it was well read. City have it back. Hemp has a go. It's well wide.
We were talking off air, weren't we, a little bit about how I was wanting to see marginal improvements every single game from Ellie Roebuck. Sam Kerr took advantage of what could be a little bit of rustiness from Ellie Roebuck. Not commanding her box as she should have done. Don't think we did see a shout. I didn't hear a shout at the time. And if you want to make a mistake, you do not want it to drop to the feet of hot shot Sam Kerr.
A lovely moment between her and the injured Erin Cuthbert. It's a good pinch from Georgia Stanway. Advantage played. Rasso. Bronze in support. And now Kira Walsh. Fizzes it to Rasso. Gonna get past Jonna Anderson this time. First time ball in from Bronze. It's a good one towards White. Hemp. And straight at Lily Bright. Our openings for City, but here comes Sam Kerr. And Lucy Bronze stops her in her tracks. She felt it was shoulder to shoulder. Lisa Benn, referee, disagrees.
Sure, we'll see it on the replay, but to me it looked like she was clever. Sam Kerr ran across the retreating Lucy Bronze. A tangle of legs was inevitable, and with that, this is also inevitable. A yellow card. Really clever running, gets her body across, and it is a little clip. It's impossible to avoid from Lucy Bronze's point of view. It's clever running from Sam Kerr, but you would expect that. She looks a little bit frustrated, Lucy Bronze. You know, her ventures forward have not been as successful as she would have liked. She probably feels that overall the last few games, and she has come back from injury, have not been quite up to speed. I know coming back from injury is horrible because you're not quite at 100%. You're expecting the same outcome of performance. It's just not quite there, but I'm sure it will come for Lucy Bronze.
Free kick. Gura Wright takes it towards Millie Bright. Got the flick on. Offside flag up anyway.
Yeah, I think Millie Bright just jumped the gun a little bit. Set off a tiny bit early, looked offside for me.
Greenwood receives and goes long. That's a good win in the air from Weir.
It's too easy losing possession though, isn't it? That little square ball, yes, good decision from Alex Greenwood to go long, but then it's 50-50. If Ellen White can't make it stick, which was virtually impossible in that scenario, he turned over possession very, very easily.
City do have the players to hurt Chelsea. Just haven't seen enough of them.
What Chelsea are doing really well is shielding Kira Walsh, stopping her getting on the ball. She is the key to Manchester City breaking through from defence to midfield to forwards. You can see now as set up Camilla Harder shielding her. Sam Kerr, imagine he'll get across, do the same. Certainly part of Chelsea's game plan.
When Walsh does get the ball, pass is cut out easily, and Chelsea just a little bit cleverer in their play at the moment. City a little bit predictable at times, although do have the pace. Down the wide areas, Hemp, Rasso so easily could have taken the lead. Hemp smashing the post. Both teams have had very legitimate claims for a penalty for a handball as well. Final 5 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, Lauren Hemp's had two good chances. The best one, obviously, crashing into the post. Second one from the edge of the box, left-hand side, favourable angle. Skews it wide. She's been busy. She's been what Lauren Hemp does exceptionally well, and that's caused the right-hand side of any opposing team real problems. But when the ball has got more central, Ellen White looks pretty isolated in that lone position. A lot of chasing down. We know Ellen White can do that. We know she's good at that. But it's not really favouring Manchester City.
It's a really rough end to the year for Chelsea. Lost their last 2 games against Reading in the WSL, and that really devastating defeat to Wolfsburg in the Champions League. But since then, unbeaten in 8. Very much in with a shout of completing the domestic treble once again. But an error from Jonna Andersson. Rasso trying to get around her. Corner kick.
It was a miscue from Jonna Andersson to turn over possession of the ball, but excellent recovery on good angle to get a body blocking the run. Didn't really see where the corner came from. It looked like Hayley Rasso took a touch and then couldn't get past Anderson. Corner given.
The Australians had some pretty good moments. This first half, chance for Alex Greenwood to deliver towards the near post, easily defended by Anik Nouwen. Stokes' pass is a little bit short, and City are short at the back. Brighton into Harder. City in trouble here. It's Pernilla Harder, and City scurrying back, managed to evade the danger.
A beautiful counter-attack, wasn't it? As good as Chelsea are at defending those, the speed at which they turn over and the quality of the passes, maybe just needed a fraction more speed on that. A hard stay goal side of her defenders. Maybe should have struck it early. Gives the chance now for Chelsea to run up the clock in the last couple of minutes. Yeah, I mean, defenders get get back really well, City, but still a let-off for Manchester City.
Should credit Kira Walsh there for the defending. Brighton Looks like Naum was going to get on the end of that. It's a brilliant strike, just over the bar from Niamh Charles. She scored a similar goal against City in this competition last season.
You're right, mixing things up. You can see the box really crowded. Means lots of defenders are back in. Leaves a bit of space for Niamh Charles. Does well to chest it, control it. Can't quite get over it.
As well, she stopped a certain goal, tracking Pernilla Harder all the way. Alex Greenwood wants options. Wriggles away from Harder. She's trying to find Lauren Hemp. Harder sticking close to her.
Right, Greenwood is in possession for such a long period of time there. Looking up, nothing. Looking up, nothing. More than anything, City are making movements, but Chelsea are dutifully tracking them, reducing those opportunities for Greenwood to make that killer pass.
There's the final minutes. Very entertaining first half. Chelsea have just about edged. Good play from City, working their way out.
And that's what Gareth Taylor said to his teams, like, trust playing out from the back. In possession, you do have to be patient on occasions. But also, you've got to be smart with it. So it's a principle, not a rule of how to play.
Good battle between Hemp and Carter. Hemp comes away with the ball, but her cross just bounces away from Rasso, and decisive play from Ann-Katrin Berger. 1 minute of stoppage time.
Good early shout there. Good commanding of the box. Ann-Katrin Berger takes the decision off of a defender.
Chelsea haven't lost in the Continental Cup since February 2019. That's 15 games ago. This competition is very much theirs at the moment. The last team to beat them was Manchester City. Semi-final defeat, a late Magdalena Eriksson own goal. City went on that year to beat Arsenal on penalties. At half-time, the 2021-2022 Women's Continental Cup final. Advantage to Chelsea, thanks to an instinctive finish from top scorer Sam Kerr. City have led a bit of a charmed life at the back. Chelsea have only capitalised the once. City still very much in this.
Yeah, a little bit scrappy from Manchester City. In possession in deep areas has been causing them problems, allowing Chelsea to eat up the ground and for them to look dangerous. But Chelsea took a convincing chance, a rather calamitous lack of communication between Ellie Roebuck and Demi Stokes allowed the ball to drop for a swivelling, swift-firing Sam Kerr to finish low and hard into the corner.
Not over yet, but half-time at Plough Lane. It's Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0.
Yeah, Chelsea with that single goal lead over Manchester City after that first half, and Farah Williams and Izzy Christiansen alongside me watching that. And the story of that half, really, the Chelsea press was not really countered, was it? The chess game that Gareth Taylor talked about wasn't really evident, was it, in the first 30 minutes or so?
No, I think, look, Chelsea come in and dominated with their press. I think, you know, they certainly put Manchester City under pressure and had some chances early on. I don't think they punished Manchester City with those chances and allowed City to get back into the game.
I think that, well, from what I've seen so far, is the fact that Manchester City, I think they were being a bit too casual at the back. Spoken a lot about Alex Greenwood's incredible distribution over the course of the season so far. I think she's been a little bit laboured in possession, and like Farah said, Chelsea haven't capitalised on mistakes. and I think they could be 2 or 3 up. Having said that, Man City have had their chances. Obviously, Lauren Hemp hitting the post, so it's been interesting.
Yeah, great work from Harder to keep the ball down the pitch, and then Kerr doing what she does best. She's so instinctive.
Yeah, I mean, look, a great delivery from Wrighton, and Sam Kerr gets herself challenging the goalkeeper here, and it just falls nicely. Sam Kerr knows where the goal is. She's got her back to goal, but what a finish on the half turn this is with her left foot. And look, Robots, couldn't get anywhere near it. It's a fantastic goal, and nothing more than what Chelsea and Sam Kerr deserve in his first half.
Yeah, we saw her in that FA Cup final from hangover from last season with that wonderful dink, didn't she, that day? And she's just a real big game player. Sam Kerr, the Australian international for Chelsea. She's got that incredible ability to change a game, to get the opportunity. She changes the game, doesn't she?
Yeah, and I think she started the game very well. She had an early opportunity on the right-hand side where she's broken down in behind Demi Stokes and Alex Greenwood on that left-hand side. I think that set out her intentions for the game. Like you're saying, she is a big game player. She's had a massive impact, and that's not an easy finish, by the way. On the turn on her left-hand side, she's actually facing away from the goal as she strikes it. It's all come from that work from Pernille Harder and Guro Wrighton down this left-hand side
for
Chelsea.
Yeah, we talked about Wrighton, didn't we, and her impressive form this season. Beautiful delivery from her. There are a couple of incidents we're going to need to take a closer look at, handballs. This is the first one here. Let's have a little, we're going to have a closer look at that.
Yeah, I think, look, Kennedy's arm is in the air. I'm not sure she knows too much about it, but in the modern day game, when the ball hits your hand like it does there inside the box, it's going to be given as a penalty. So I'm surprised the referee didn't give that for Chelsea.
There was a bit of disagreement, wasn't there, between you two at the start of this, and then when you saw it again, Izzy, you perhaps changed your mind.
Well, I always thought that with penalties, your instinct's normally right, and I've just been proven incorrect tonight. I think my instincts told me that wasn't a penalty when I first saw it, and then we've seen it again on the screen. It certainly is a penalty.
Yeah, of course.
No VAR here. I mean, we've seen them given, haven't we, so many times. And then we've got another one to look at in a moment. But first of all, City's potentially best opportunity hitting the post from Lauren Hemp.
Yeah, look, Lauren Hemp's been in and out of the game. We've seen her be so dominant of late. But it's here, she gets in at the back post from a great delivery, hard and low from Georgia Stanway across the box. And look, she gets on the blind side of Charles here and hits the post, something that, she'll be disappointed with the finish because one that she should have put away.
The balls had to travel through maybe 6 or 7 bodies there to get to the back post. So Lauren Hemp has seen that very late. She's done well to get contact on it. But for me, that has to nestle into the back of the net. Yeah, with so few chances, clear chances for City as well. Gareth Taylor will be really ruining that one. Let's have a little look, shall we, at the other handball. Can you see that handball again? No, let's move on and let's have a little look at Alex Greenwood, who early in the game, Alex Greenwood made some really important blocks, didn't she? She was really instrumental in keeping Manchester City in this, Izzy. Well, yeah, like I was saying, Sam Kerr starting the game on fire, breaking down that right-hand side. Alex Greenwood was there to cover Demi Stokes, but yeah, she's been really solid. She reads the game really well. Like I was saying, her distribution has been a little bit flax, as we can see here on the screen, playing that square pass across the box that she's lucky wasn't punished by Chelsea. But I think in terms of her defensive positioning, very, very good. So 1-0 is a scoreline that Gareth Taylor will go in there and say, right, we can get back into this game. We've certainly got the talent. We're going to have to change something though, because Chelsea's press will come back again, won't it?
I think that's the problem with Gareth Taylor. I don't think he tends to change too much about what Manchester City do. I think what they need to do is get their wide players involved in the game a lot more in the second half. I think that's where they can cause problems for this Chelsea team. So if they can miss out the pressing line, which Ellie Robot can do with her distribution, I think they might have half a chance of creating some chances in this second half. And Emma Hayes, I think, will be going full throttle, won't she, on the chances that were missed, Chelsea? I think the type of leader, manager she is, yes, she'll be delighted secretly that they're 1-0 up, but I think deep down what she will be saying to the team in that dressing room at half-time is be ruthless, finish your chances, because a few of them haven't even had to have been created. They've been caused as of Manchester City's errors. So she will be on them at half-time, I'm sure, to say be ruthless and finish this game off. The one thing's for sure, that when that Sam Kerr goal went in, we realised this wasn't quite the neutral venue, perhaps, that it's supposed to be, because the reaction seemed to be largely 90% very happy fans in here. There's a small pocket of City fans just across here who are quiet, but yeah, the Chelsea fans made their presence known at that moment, didn't they? They definitely did. Look, we're only 5 miles from where Chelsea played their home game, so it's expected. Look, it's a London venue, and obviously Chelsea being from London, but look, it is fantastic to have a sold-out stadium for a cup final on a Saturday evening.
Absolutely, and you know what is so wonderful as well, seeing the mix of families really enjoying this, young boys, young girls, mums, dads. I'm sat next to a woman who's probably well into her late 70s. We're having a lovely afternoon watching this one. She's a Chelsea fan, so she's smiling. But it's not just the League Cup final this weekend. There are plenty of fixtures in the WSL taking place, and just the 4 matches over the weekend. Earlier, Aston Villa were beaten by Brighton by a Maya Letitia goal. Manchester United an emphatic victory over Leicester City, 4-0. And tomorrow at midday, Arsenal kick off against Birmingham City. The 2 o'clock kick-off sees Tottenham travel to Reading. And of course, Jonas Eidevall has been a really impressive manager for Arsenal, hasn't he, this season so far? And let's hear now from the Gunners' Katie McCabe on how her form has been directly influenced by his presence.
I think ever since he's come in, he's definitely brought a new energy to the squad and to the team and to the club as a whole itself. He brings a really strong energy, and you can see that how he is on the pitch on match day as well, and I think that really breathes through us as a team as well. I've thoroughly enjoyed working under him. I think he's helped me bring my game up another level, and yeah, I'm just enjoying learning off him from a tactical point of view and technical point of view as well. So it's been really enjoyable, and I think that you can kind of see that in how we're playing too. So yeah, we're just kind of keep that momentum going.
How exciting is the WSL title race shaping up?
Yeah, look, it's probably the tightest it's ever been in that sense, as far as I'm here anyway. I'd say it's an exciting one for the neutral watching in. But look, being part of it, I think is always pretty special, and it's something we're enjoying.
And you can see the full version of that Katie McCabe interview tomorrow in our build-up to the match to Arsenal against Birmingham City. It's on BBC 2 from 11:45. Izzy, you were in action in midweek up against Aston Villa, an important win on the back of 4 consecutive defeats. It's always difficult, isn't it, when you get into that kind of rut? So how important and what was the atmosphere like when you got that win?
Well, firstly, we were up against a very good team, Aston Villa, that have evolved a lot, and we knew it was going to be tough, and it really was. The first half was exceptionally scrappy, but as we can see there, my fellow midfield partner, who's meant to be the deep line midfielder, makes a 60-yard run into the box and scores the winner for us. So superb goal, and I think that goal meant a lot to us as a team to hopefully kick on and get a bit of momentum now.
Yeah, and then Villa going down again today as well, so it hasn't been a very good week for them. OK, let's get back to Jo Curry, who this time has got with her the Manchester City Academy coach, the head of the Academy, former Wales coach Jane Ludlow is somewhere over there.
Oh, Jane, I tell you what, you've brought the Manchester weather with you, haven't you? Look, scoreline aside, what did you make of that first half?
I've really enjoyed it. Look, it's been competitive. You look at the game as a whole, we've had good control possession in times, but, you know, we've got to finish the opportunities we create, and the game changes quickly, doesn't it? You know, we've had the Lauren chance, we haven't quite got it in the back of the net, and then obviously Chelsea go up the end and do the opposite.
From what you know of Gareth and the fact that you've been a manager yourself previously as well, what's the message going to be in that City change room right now?
There'll be areas he'll be pleased with, you know, the possession side of the game and the stats, and obviously the areas we're getting into. What he won't be pleased with is the fact we haven't finished those opportunities. Obviously, you look at the goal, there's areas there we can correct pretty swiftly, and I'm sure that'll be dealt with half-time. It looks 45 minutes to get back out and make sure we pick up this trophy.
City have got depth on the bench, namely in the attacking form of Janine Becky and the likes of Jess Park. At what point in the second half will he start to look at his bench and maybe consider mix things up if the scoreline stays as it is?
Well, look, it's definitely, you know, a staff group environment and a discussion with regards to the stats and who's where with regards to their situations as individuals right now. If you look at the game so far, we're doing well, but it is the final part of the jigsaw to say, do we have players on the bench who can come in and do that? Definitely. And if they do come in, I'm sure they'll do fantastically well for us.
We've talked a lot this season about City's wobbly start to the start of the season, the fact that they're now here in a cup final. If they can turn things around in the second half, what would this trophy mean to them?
Oh, it'd be huge. You know, we're a club that want to win trophies every season. The fact that it has been so challenging early on, credit to all the group, you know, everybody in the club, because we stuck with it and we're now getting our just rewards, but we want more.
Absolutely. Jane, thank you for speaking to us. Enjoy the second half.
Well, changing code, next Friday the Six Nations returns under the lights at the Principality Stadium. It's Wales against France.
We are Wales.
Wales.
Josh Adams, try for Wales.
We are France.
This French side is ruthless and brilliant.
And we are together. We are rugby. We are Six Nations. Wales versus France. Live Friday at 7:30 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Well, of course, as well as the rugby, we've got highlights from the Premier League tonight on Match of the Day. That's at 10:25 on BBC One. Tomorrow, highlights from the weekend's WSL fixtures on the Women's Football Show, BBC One at 11:35. Kate Cross and Alex Hartley bring you the latest from the world of women's cricket on No Balls, the cricket podcast, which is available to listen to now on BBC Sounds. Here, though, at Plough Lane, it is Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0. Chelsea, Emma Hayes of Chelsea, are just 45 minutes away from becoming the 2022 League Cup final winners.
Well, these two teams have faced each other a lot, but it is the first time they will play each other in a showcase women's final. Football continues to show its solidarity with the Ukraine. There's a great ball off the post. A frenetic start. But Sam Kerr, on instinct, turns it in and gives Chelsea the lead.
Yeah, Sam Kerr's goal, the difference between the two, but that Chelsea press that is so synonymous with Emma Hayes and the style of football that Chelsea play, you'd expect at the beginning of this second half they will come out, as they do, aiming to kind of grab hold of the game again, full throttle.
Yeah, I think, look, that press has been outstanding, especially in that first 20 minutes of the first half. I think they're going to start with that intensity in the second half and try and get another goal, and then just control the game like they have done in this first half.
Yeah, for me, I think I was intrigued to see in the absence of Fran Kirby tonight how G would do in that role alongside Harder and Kerr in terms of that Chelsea press that we're speaking so often about. And she's done superbly so far, and like we say, created chances from it. I think Chelsea will be fully aware that they're being hunted now by Manchester City, that Man City have got to throw the kitchen sink at this now if they want to come away with the trophy. So they'll be fully aware of the pressure, but then they'll see it as an opportunity on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they had that golden opportunity, didn't they, for Lauren Hem hitting the post. There were a couple of handball incidents as well. It was an action-packed first half here at Plough Lane, with just under the capacity crowd that we expected, though, making a lot of noise with their paper clackers, banging those away. The flags are flying for mainly the Chelsea fans, who have certainly enjoyed the very short hop that they've had to make. Farrah Williams here. Manchester City fans, the diehards, have made a much harder journey here this evening, this Saturday night in London. But they'll be enjoying the fact that their team are still in this, and they're very much the team with the form coming into this, just that one defeat in 12 for Manchester City, Gareth Taylor's side. So Emma Hayes, you saw her there coming back out, ready for the second half. No sign yet, though, of the players. And there was a slight delay to the match in the first half, so perhaps they're just going with form, Robin Cowan. Everybody's just taking it a little bit laid back this Saturday evening.
She's basically horizontal up here. Very cool. Very cool indeed.
About -2, I would suggest.
So here come the Chelsea team. And Manchester City as well. It is just one defeat in 12 for Manchester City, but that defeat did come against Chelsea, heading for their 4th straight defeat against these rivals. But 45 minutes to get back into this game for Manchester City. They were behind last weekend against Manchester United. A couple of subs changed the game. We'll have to see what Gareth Taylor has up his sleeve for this second half.
Doesn't look like any changes at half-time for either team. But you're right. Certainly for Manchester City and Gareth Taylor. He's got the likes of Olympic gold medalist Janine Becky. Play down the right, play down the left. Jess Park, young English hope. People touting her as a last, a late shout really for the England senior team. Hasn't been in a squad yet, or she's played in youth teams but not senior, but for the Euros this summer, coming to form. But in the last game against Manchester United, looked a little bit one-dimensional. The usual game wasn't working, wasn't quite sure how to switch it up. But he does have options, including Jamaican all-time goal scorer Bunny Shaw on the bench.
Well, she scored just over 30 seconds after coming off the bench last weekend, so not a bad option to have. It is the Sky Blue of City who get us underway in the second half here at Plough Lane. The first silverware of the season will be handed out come the end of the night. If it does end level at the end of 90 minutes, we'll have extra time and penalties. If it does come to that, they managed to get through on penalties in 2019. Gareth Taylor has failed to beat Chelsea in each of his last 7 meetings with Emma Hayes. Might be up to 8. Still a lot of time for City though to get back into this. Whenever Chelsea managed to wriggle their way out though, they look so dangerous on the counter. Don't blame her. Nice warm cup of tea to get the second half started for Emma Hayes. Assuming it's tea. It's not.
I saw her in the lineup when the wreaths were being presented before the game, and she just had a thin coat on and a thin blouse underneath. And I thought, underestimated the weather. It was tropical up north this morning. Come down to the Arctic Circle down here.
I'd love to know what your version of tropical is.
Double figures.
Leave Charles as well to get to the byline, but it's really easily cleared up by City. There's a Chelsea player down by the advertising hoardings. Lisa Ben is indicating that the physios need to come on.
Leave Charles. Certainly writhing in pain, it seems. Whether she's crashed into the hoardings, she's holding her head. Haven't seen a replay yet. There's a massive bodies with the photographers down there. Unclear to see what had happened. But should Niamh Charles come off, having already Erin Cuthbert be unavailable for this game in that same position. Niamh Charles can be a utility player, but would be being the natural replacement for Erin Cuthbert on that right-hand side. A hard, tireless worker down the flank. It would be interesting to see if Emma Hayes would change formations. Whether she'd go to flat back 4, Jess Carter at right back. Would she bring on Maren Mjelde, been missing for such a long time? Is she match fit? Came back, had a couple of substitute appearances and then back to the injury table.
Request for Sam Kerr's shirt. Iconic shirt, but also an extra layer as well. Niamh Charles still being treated, so play will continue. And Chelsea at the moment down to 10. It looks quite serious, but good news is she's up. Doesn't wait to see whether she can continue. In the meantime, here's Georgia Stanway. That's a lovely square ball. Caroline Weir! Equaliser for Manchester City. And while Chelsea were without one of their players, City take full advantage.
Emma Hayes will be so frustrated at how easy that was for Manchester City. Caroline Weir had an age of time to control the ball and pick her spot. Great run from Georgia Stanway, and what an excellent pick, pinpoint ball. And Caroline Weir able to take a touch and just find the corner, drive it home, drill it home, 12 yards out, given that much time and space. Caroline Weir is deadly. Lack of communication at the back from such a short distance in, and with bodies blocking the view, Van Katzenberger, it's almost impossible for her to react. You can see Caroline Weir's almost shaping to go to her right, and when the ball's cut back across her.
Nearly an instant Chelsea response there. Gura Wrighton in a good position, skewed it wide. And nearly as quickly as Manchester City got themselves back into the game, they nearly pegged back. A wild effort from Gura Wrighton, and a favoured foot as well. Oh, and that's loose from Ellie Roebuck, but City managed to bring it away.
That was casual. We were talking about the game, about Ellie Roebuck prior to the game, and that sharp, it has to be 100% sharp thinking as well as executing passages of play, and Ellie Roebuck there just too casual with that ball to try and find, I think it was Kira Walsh just on the edge of a box. Fortunate that G miscontrolled it and gave it straight back.
Incidentally, that's Caroline Weir's third consecutive goal, 3 appearances, last 2 each come against Manchester United. Walsh. Stokes in a bit of space. Do you think Chelsea just weren't set from having a player less at that point?
Yeah, I think they just switched off and City took advantage of that. Whether I need to look through the passage of play that led to the actual goal in that literally 30 seconds it was, and look where players are. It's just Ingles switched off, and Nick Nouwen and Millie Bright. Nobody got tight to her. 3 players within a few yards of her, but nobody got tight, took responsibility for it. I mean, Caroline Weir is the queen of finding a gap, whether it's when the team's expanded and the space between forwards and midfield.
Wrighton onto Kerr, delivers the cross, well defended by Greenwood, and there are 2 City's players trying to deal with that. Eventually Bronze gets it away. Anderson, now G. Been with Chelsea ever since the beginning of the trophy winning era, 2015, the League and Cup double. Corner kick.
That lapse in concentration from Chelsea. City did exceptionally well to get a goal from it. This is more like how Chelsea started the first half, pinning City back. And the discussions we had in the first half of City living dangerously, playing out from the back, square balls, got a lot of pace on them. This time it's a corner, but I feel they're going to get punished for that at some point.
Wrighton. Outswinging corner kick, nearly met by Harder. That was an opportunity.
In her book, that would be an absolute mischance. She does really well, and actually it's pretty decent defending from Walsh to put her off, but that would be a missed opportunity in Ella Harder's book.
Stanway just ran out of grass. Bit of a setback for Hayes and Chelsea. Never takes these occasions for granted. Has become more and more experienced in steering her team to domestic glory. Wrighton, bit of an awkward one, but well held by Ellie Roebuck.
And she blocks the line of the ball really well there, Ellie Roebuck. Got up high, caught it at its highest point. Good goalkeeping.
Touch from Bronze. Ellen White. Really good burst of pace from Lucy Bronze. Finds Stanway, who keeps it in. Bronze in support. Bronze's cross. Straight back to her from Nowen. Now Weir. Walsh keeps it going. Hemp. It's towards Ellen White now and there again. Bronze heads back in. Away by Millie Bright. So young, now to pick up the ball, instruct Sam Kerr to run down this near side, the left. Oh, a terrific save. Niamh Charles with the strike. Ellie Roebuck stretching to push it aside.
Fantastic save from the England goalkeeper there. First real save of note. Both goalkeepers having to deal and command their areas. Few little through balls that they've had to deal with, but real powerful dive to a left and palm to safety. Excellent from Ellie Roebuck.
A little bit too much on that for Niamh Charles.
Here it is, Sam Kerr didn't get the ball to Pernille hard as she should, but it sat up nicely, didn't it, for Niamh Charles? Back on the pitch, kind of a swipe across the ball, drifting out to the right. And that'll build up Ellie Roebuck's confidence.
Here's Hemp, twisting and turning. It's Lauren Hemp, and the rebound is in! Ellen White has turned it around for Manchester City. In the right place at the right time, exactly where you'd expect her. 2-1 City lead.
Gareth Taylor and Serena Wiegman will be extremely happy with that combination. A burst of pace down the left for Lauren Hemp, and she cuts in and works the goalkeeper. That's what she hasn't done previously, is work, and Katrin Berger force her into a save. And when it's low and hard, look at that change of pace and strike, drills it across the keeper. And you wouldn't want anyone else from Manchester City in front, ready to feed off the scraps. Goal poacher Ellen White, she reacts fantastically well. It wasn't on her foot. She does so well to hold her body weight, to hold her centre of gravity, to be composed enough to get her left foot on that. I think we will continue to see plenty more of Lauren Hemp and Ellen White scoring goals.
There it is, the trademark celebration from Ellen White. And Serena Wiegman, the England manager, will be very pleased to see that celebration out again. Another second half comeback from Manchester City.
Indeed, they were toothless really in the first half against Manchester United in the FA Cup last week. 1-0 down at half-time, came out, absolutely put the game to bed in a 10-minute spell where they scored 3 goals. Manchester City, different team in the second half, and although they've had to ride the waves that Chelsea have thrown upon them in this second half, they've executed brilliantly twice.
There's a little bit more purpose about City. Crossfield ball taken by Anne-Katrin Berger. Well, as we said after the first half, this is still not over yet. And we think back just before Manchester City scored, it was Ellie Roebuck who pulled off a terrific save to keep them level pegging.
And actually, a fraction of a second before Ellen White put the ball in the net, it was a brilliant save from Anne-Katrin Berger, down hard and low to her left to make that save. It was fantastic reflexes and instincts from Ellen White. Took it past her.
just that equaliser has given City the confidence that they can get at this Chelsea team.
Once you see Lauren Hemp picking the ball up and running past players, you know, that gives a real sense of buoyancy and confidence to the team around you. Finding the shooting boots, hitting a target. That'll be all things that Grant Taylor will be emphasising at half-time.
Brighton's cross. It's the arms of Ellie Roebuck.
For a young goalkeeper, she deals with the pressure of being England's number one, arguably. That hasn't been the case since Serena Wiegman's come in. But she's certainly not at 100% yet. She is, I think, England's best goalkeeper.
None the wiser, really, about who will be the number one goalkeeper, especially after the Arnold Clark Cup. Ellie Roebuck missed a large chunk of the first half of the season.
Yeah, I think if you were to put all 3-4 goalkeepers who are in the running for the Euros, they're all at 100% fitness, match sharpness, everything. I think Ellie Roebuck does, in my opinion, come out on top. It's just my opinion. But she's not quite there yet. She's not at 100%, so she'll be hoping come selection time, she'll have herself in the best possible physical, mental place to be selected as Wiegman's number one.
Free kick for Chelsea here. Not for Brighton. Two goals in 5 minutes for Gareth Taylor. Couldn't really have asked for anything more.
No, he's had a seemingly very successful half-time team talks. You see that combination again. Lauren Hemp drills it as you textbook from that left-hand side, hard and low across the goalkeeper. Because if she doesn't save it, goes in. If she does save it, it pops up. But on rushing centre forward, and that's exactly what happened. And this was the first one. Caroline Weir given far too much time in such a dangerous area. A world-class player is not going to pass you up on that opportunity.
Here comes Hemp, electrifying pace, trying to pick out White.
Jess Carter matching her really well there, shielding her, limiting her effectiveness down that left-hand side. You can argue that Jess Carter is a better matchup pace-wise than Niamh Charles, but a good backup with Niamh Charles is up front.
Stokes. Out Lucy Bronze, who's taken up a few more different positions in this second half. Rasso. Stanway delivers towards the back post.
Not in any rush to take these corners and throw-ins, eating up every second of game time. Past the hour mark now. Got their lead.
Here's Hemp.
It's offside. Little header back from the throw-in. Good defending from Chelsea. Got their line up really quick. Just stepped as the header was going back.
Oh, now Chelsea this time taking a risk. Stanway trying to get away from Anderson. Picked up by Rasso. Just ran out of space. Risk-taking. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I think Emma Hayes flagged it up pre-match. The pitch didn't look great at the beginning, and now with the rain coming down, just the bounce of the ball, the flow of the ball isn't quite as predictable, perhaps, as these players would like.
Yeah, and exactly that. The more factors there are, as in having to figure out the pitch, figure out the weather, figure out the point of the game. The more practice they go into it, the more things can go wrong. And you have to be a little bit risk averse in that position as a goalkeeper.
Here's G. It's Ji So Young. So good block from Kennedy. Now Carter. Kerr in support. She's kept it in, but she's given it away. Demi Stokes motoring forward. She's got Ellen White up ahead. Only White, really, and Demi Stokes runs into traffic. But she's done really well there to win a corner out of that position.
There's plenty of running left in Demi Stokes' legs, and talked early on in the game about how dynamic this left-hand side is for Manchester City, and that's both in attack and defensively. Demi Stokes and Lauren Hebb down that left-hand side.
Well, Chelsea feel like they need something special, and they're bringing on a very special player here, Lauren James, whose game time has been limited since signing in the summer from Manchester United, but once she's fit and firing, few can stop her. Meanwhile, here comes the corner kick for Manchester City towards the near post, and Ellen White. And out of play, and another corner kick.
Yeah, Lauren James, touted by a person I would call football in royalty as one of the brightest and most technically gifted players in the game. You can't argue with that. I think being at Chelsea has the best staff to look after her individual needs, what she needs to get the best out of her performance.
Yes, you're on television, children. Drilled in, and Kennedy just wide.
There's a chance, knew when she signed from Tottenham that she carried that threat.
The crowd tonight of 8,004. Fair play to them, a filthy night here in southwest London. And they've been treated to an excellent cup final. It's not over yet. Lauren James on for Chelsea. Guro Reiten is the player to make way. Lauren James only made her first start for Chelsea last week in the FA Cup against Leicester. So still working her way up to full match fitness. Space here for Weir, and deflected behind, and it's City who've really taken hold of this game.
As you mentioned, that goal that tied them, that drew them level, just really spurred them on. Quickly got their second, so it caught Chelsea out of shape, a player down to get the equaliser. They capitalised on putting Chelsea on the back foot in some respects. The save by Ellie Robert was excellent. Just down the other end, got down and scored.
Stanway over this one once again. It's deeper this time towards Lucy Bronze. Oh, and it's into the roof of the net! Caroline Weir once again! What a strike! And this is getting away from Chelsea now. Manchester City in the box seat and heading for League Cup final victory.
Similar spot, slightly left of the goal, but distance-wise off the line, and she finds herself once again. No one marking her tight up, but what an excellent finish. Good little knockback from Lucy Bronze, deflected by Sophie Ingle, and just inside the penalty spot. Once again, a free shot at goal. Pretty central, just left of centre. She would have liked it as a lefty. And pinpoint accuracy steers it into the top left-hand corner. Once again, you cannot give a world-class player like Caroline Weir that sort of space and time, because she will execute it to perfection.
On the insteps. That is absolutely superb from Caroline Weir.
such composure, wasn't it, to just feel that ball on a foot. No effort into it at all.
Rasso now putting Anderson under pressure. Berger just about gets that away. Hemp. It's a good challenge from Niamh Charles. Incredible second half this from City, and they want more. Here's Rasso on the same wavelength as Hemp.
Chelsea look tired, look dogged. I think it's just their body language more than anything. And Manchester City look the ones who are absolutely full of energy. They're really taking their game plan to Chelsea. I don't often see Chelsea in this predicament. I'm sure it will bring the best out of Emma Hayes.
Unfamiliar feeling for Emma Hayes. Success after success in recent years. Looks like Drew Spence is ready to come on. And here's Lauren James. Her first touches of the ball. Not up with the difficulties of this pitch. Bronze. It's a great switch. Hemp facing up to Carter. And now Weir. Rasso. It's the cross in. Header away by Nowen. City in total control now. Here's Walsh. That's a lovely ball. It's White. Straight at Berger.
Unbelievable, isn't it, how they're opening up Chelsea's back line. Such discipline usually. What an easy chance for Ellen White. Just doesn't drill it on the ground.
Great play from Lauren James, and picks out Sam Kerr. Tried to help it on first time. Didn't quite execute, and now Demi Stokes head down over the halfway line.
City have done really well in using that switch, dragging out the back line of Chelsea, stretching them out, creating those spaces for Ellen White to get into. It's been a completely different second half for Manchester City. Interesting when Beth England and Drew Spence come on. I wouldn't be surprised if Sophie Ingle, I don't feel she's had her best appearance in a Chelsea shirt.
Just, studiously looking through the set pieces.
That's why they haven't conceded one this season, Robin.
Scrolling on the iPad as well.
Bit of carb gel. It's a mountain to climb really for Chelsea at this late stage, less than 20 minutes to go in this League Cup final. Emma Hayes would not have predicted her side to be on this end of the score sheet.
Well, it's been a game where, with a lot of moments, you know, if that first penalty shout would have been given, it would have been a very different game. But credit to City, they stayed in it. After Chelsea were dominating and threatening to expose their mistakes, but they just didn't manage to. And in the second half, at least, Manchester City have just been clinical. Mostly thanks to that Scottish international, Caroline Weir. Hemp. Corner kick.
It's all Man City, simple as that. We're seeing Drew Spence and Beth England well drilled on the set pieces, what their roles and responsibilities are. Final bit of warm up before they come on. First, Emma Hayes will have her fingers crossed, hoping that City can't extend leads. They've got to make sure, first of all, they defend the first phase, and the second phase is what's undone them. Caroline Weir on 2 occasions.
Another Georgia Stanway corner towards Lucy Bronze. And Katrin Berger lost it, and that was nearly a fourth. Rasso right on the spot.
Second phase again, first header. First header was uncontested from Lucy Bronze, but what next? What happens when that first header is won? Who's first to it? It's Manchester City. What bravery, brilliant save from Katrin Berger. Holds her ground, has to, because Hayley Rasso's right in front of her. Gets big and makes a crucial save for Chelsea.
So threatening from these corner kicks. Another faded delivery. Picked up by Hemp and struck by Kira Walsh. Chelsea just look all at sea.
The quality balls from Georgia Stanway on this occasion. Decent strike from Walsh. Ellen White can't redirect it. Still so dangerous, so tense for anyone watching in a Chelsea shirt.
It's a great ball down the line. Flag has stayed down against Caroline Weir. Stanway in space. Straight at Millie Bright. Known for her long ranges. It's a heavy touch from Lucy Bronze. Harder. They get away from Kira Walsh, and she's done just that. Kerr wants it in the middle. Kerr tries to help it on. Manchester City win possession back.
What a tackle that was from Georgia Stanway. Had to time that perfectly because she launched herself. I think it was in against Neve Charles, who was rushing in to try and strike from 25 yards. Chelsea have not given this game up yet.
Here's Jonna Andersson. James. A clever pass to Ju So Young. City claiming offside. Play goes on. James, almost impossible to get the ball off there. In behind now. And James took a chance there. Could have gone to it. Instead, accepts the corner.
I think looked up and didn't see too many Chelsea shirts in the box to fire it across to. Lovely bit of play from Lauren James. Show why she's such a promising young England player.
So a double substitution for Chelsea. Bethany England coming on for Neve Charles. Scored twice in the final 2 seasons ago against Arsenal for Chelsea. And Ju So Young coming off for Drew Spence. Veteran of this Chelsea team. 240 first appearance in the navy blue of Chelsea. Anderson's corner. Millie Bright's trying the flick, doesn't come off. Rasso tries to bring it away, but good tracking from Harder. Clip forward for White. Space is opening up as Chelsea try and commit players forward. It's Hemp. Berger makes the stop.
It's frustrating as goalkeeper when you let a player like Lauren Hemp drive, and free shot. Just backed off Chelsea defenders. Yes, if you step in to commit yourself, you have to trust that you've got a teammate coming across to cover you. Can't allow players like that having free shots. Great play from Lauren Hemp. It's so hard to stop a player. with her pace, her skill set.
10 minutes left to play. They've seen plenty of goals today. Some top quality ones at that.
Yeah, our early musings in the game was that it could be an error that afforded either team to go ahead, but wasn't the case. Yes, maybe a little bit slack defending, allowing Caroline Weir particularly her 2 chances to go in, but otherwise some stunning finishes.
Substitution for Manchester City, Hayley Rasso, who has had a fine game for City. A rare start for her. Julia Blackstad, new recruit. Comes on for another substitute appearance, Norwegian. Signed in January from Rosenborg. And Beth England getting onto this one. Claims a corner and she gets one.
You can see the fire in Beth England coming on as a sub. She's brilliant to bring on as a sub. She's great to start as well, but if she is as a sub, she's straight in 100%. She'll be a target on these set pieces, Beth England. As will prolific goal scorer Millie Brightby.
Arnold Clark Cup Golden Boots winner, of course. It's a dangerous looking cross. Out of play.
Well, Chelsea will have seen the corner goal that was scored against Manchester City. Manchester United, Katie Zellum, straight in off the corner. That's why they're packing the box.
It's another good delivery. Ellie Roebuck came out and got something on it. Carter back out to Jonna Andersson. All hands to the pump for Manchester City. Spence, more of the crowd claiming for a handball on that occasion. Time ticking away. Oh, space here for Ellen White. She's taken one too many touches, perhaps. Support in Lauren Hemp. Deciding her options. Blackstad. Eventually Chelsea get it away. Try and counter. That's top defending though from Demi Stokes. Greenwood now coming forward. Fancies a little go at her previous role as a left back.
Good, sensible, veteran play that Alex Greenwood. Running the clock down. Prior to that, Caroline Weir trying to get on the end of that run from Lauren Hebb down the right-hand side, trying to get a hat-trick in this game. But it's Chelsea who are open, who are leaving gaps at the back, having to take chances. High risk, high reward at this stage in the game.
Kennedy closed down by Kerr. Lauren James allowed to progress, but got past one, didn't get past Lucy Bronze.
Goalkeeper's prerogative to waste time, run the clock down. be a decider of momentum, of pace of play. You can slow it down, you can speed it up. Of course, at this stage in the game, Ellie Roebuck taking the opportunity to keep hold of it.
There's Lauren James setting her options. England.
Just hasn't clicked in this second half, has it, Robin? Just there's not been any real flows and passages of play for Chelsea. And a bigger part of that is credit to City. They've come out with another level compared to the first half.
Great skill, drag back from Caroline Weir, plays in Stanway, goes again for Blackstad, but can't pick out White. Greenwood, lovely touch. Blackstad making the run, but Greenwood deciding to go back and run down the clock a little bit more. Kennedy onto Bronze, and it's all been very comfortable for Manchester City.
They're absolutely dictating the pace of the play, when they're going to allow Chelsea to draw them in, keeping hold of the ball at times and tempting them, sometimes playing the ball quickly, playing it around them, almost toying with Chelsea.
Lauren Hemp delivers the cross, and it's wild over from Julia Blackstad. As we enter the latter stages, it's time for your FA Women's Continental Tyres Cup League Cup Player of the Match.
It was a big decision. Caroline Weir got 2 goals, the goals that were decisive in it, but I have to say a huge shout out. Lauren Hemp has been electric, and at the back from the first minute, Alex Greenwood has been unbelievable, but the composure of Caroline Weir's 2 finishes, the first one with a little touch and a finish, the second, City's third, that real air of composure, almost feeling of seconds, if not minutes, of time to be able to dispatch that goal. Ultimately, as it seems, a decisive goal in this time.
A substitution for City, Khadija Bunny-Shaw on for Ellen White, who set the ball rolling with her poacher's goal for City, and it's been just better and better for City since then. Weir once again, so classy, so composed on the ball. Stanway. Shaw. Now Hemp. So toying with the opposition, I think Lauren Hemp, the chief toyer in is Lauren Hemp.
They've just managed the game exceptionally well, Manchester City, in this second half. Once they got their goal to equalise, they caught Chelsea off guard. They got the second, they got the third, and it's deflated Chelsea. And Hayes has brought on substitutes. They haven't been able to answer the questions that City have posed them.
The substitution for Chelsea, also Abdelina coming on for Jonna Andersson, the Russian international. Hayes saying that this week, very difficult time for her, given all the support she needs. City now enjoying running down the clock, enjoying taking it to the corner flag and taking their time over these throw-in set pieces. 4 minutes for them to continue in this vein.
Well, the only save of note that I can think Ali Roebuck made was that one to her left, where she flew to her left-hand side and made that save. Other than that, in this second half, Chelsea just really haven't created the chances. City have put Chelsea on their back foot. A bit risky there for Millie Bright, but that's the stage of the game we're at, where she's headed now up front to try and make that difference. But City have just not allowed Chelsea to get out.
Thumped forward by Carter, finds Spence, touch to Abdelina, and now Lauren James. Oh, lovely touch from Georgia Stanway, but tracking from Abdelina. 3 minutes left of stoppage time.
Serena Wiegman has had a feast really today, watching Lauren Hemp and Ellen White combine to score one of those goals. To see Lauren Hemp's defensive efforts, the performances of George Stanway, Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, Ellie Roebuck, among others as well. Millie Bright on the losing side, it's looking like.
Stanway as well has looked composed. Some technically brilliant touches as well. Well, this competition has been kind to Manchester City, one that they'll hold close to their hearts. The first trophy they won since their formation as a professional side. Izzy Christensen here with us, scored the winner at Adams Park those years ago. And this could be really significant as we enter the final stage of the league season as well for Manchester City.
I remember Steph Horton speaking so fondly about that first ever win and how much this particular trophy holds a place in the heart of what were the founding members of the newly reformed Manchester City women's team. She's here today, albeit on crutches, after Achilles surgery. We'll be hoping for almost a miraculous recovery in time for the Euros.
Perhaps another chance for Chelsea to get themselves back into this. Time running out, Kerr's cross, easily defended. It's been a tricky game, difficult conditions. City seem to have played them the better overall.
Yeah, I think coming into this game, last minute, Fleming being unavailable because of COVID. Frank Kirby, being poorly just in the last couple of days and declared not well enough to be available for this squad. They're two huge players, as well as the ones Emma Hayes knew about. Cuthbert and Leupolz, Mjelde, Eriksson.
Full time. Manchester City have halted Chelsea's domestic dominance with a quite brilliant second half blitz. Down at half time, they got themselves back up. And a double from Caroline Weir has fired them to the 2022 Women's League Cup title. What a result for Manchester City, Rachel.
Very few people, I think, coming into this game. It was quite evenly balanced, but few people thought that Manchester City would do it. It just shows you really what momentum can do. Manchester City, I think, have been building since the beginning of the turn of the new year. They've had players back fit, and it's not just the boost of performances on the pitch, it's what that means day in, day out at training. The likes of Lucy Bronze, the likes of Kira Walsh, key players who are really, really, really big characters and lift a team when they're needed. And you've seen that with the performances, you've seen that with the results, you've seen that with the push that Manchester City continue to make towards the title, towards those Champions League places. And today, Chelsea weren't at their best squad-wise, weren't at their best certainly in the second half. Manchester City took full advantage and thoroughly deserved that win today.
Perhaps one in the eye for the doubters. A momentous victory for Manchester City, whose season started so ropily. It could be ending with the best way possible. And what for Chelsea? Rachel Brown finished out of the Champions League earlier on in the season. They wanted to get all of the domestic trophies, but this will not happen this season. It is Continental Cup victory for Manchester City. Full time at Plough Lane, Chelsea 1, Manchester City 3.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Robin. We will be back with you shortly for the presentation of the trophy. But the scenes there are of a jubilant Manchester City. Gareth Taylor's side came out in the second half, and they did exactly everything, actually, Farah, that you and Izzy suggested they needed to do, which was to get their wingers into the game, get that width into their game.
Yeah, they certainly did. Maybe the first half with the travel, they was a bit slow out the blocks, but certainly not in the second half. And once they got their wide players involved in play, I think they really hurt this Chelsea backline, and 3 of the goals come from that.
I think the key for me was Manchester City scoring early, and that's exactly what they did. I think for me, Chelsea, they seemed a little bit too casual coming out in that second half, and I would have thought that Emma Hayes wasn't going to offer a sort of casual approach at the half-time team talk, but for some reason or another they came out, they look a little bit slow, Chelsea, and Manchester City capitalised, got that early goal, and then all of a sudden momentum shifted.
Yeah, renowned for the press, Chelsea, but they didn't, did they? They let Manchester City back into the game, and City really went for the jugular. You could see even at 2-1, they knew that wasn't, they felt that wasn't enough. It turned out it would have been, but they felt they needed to keep going. Even at 3-1, they kept going, and Gareth Taylor there telling his women, what a fantastic second half that was. Will be thrilled because that's only his second trophy as Manchester City manager. It's the first time, of course, that he's won this as well. He's been under some pressure in the league this season. Injuries have blighted their league form early on, certainly. They're making a bit of a comeback now, but that for him as a career kind of high will be right up there.
Yep, definitely for him. I think more so not just for his trophy count, I think for the momentum for the team. We spoke a lot about it this evening in terms of the Manchester City team with the players that they've got. They're littered with internationals, world-class players, and I think by all accounts they haven't performed yet as of this season. Now they have. Now they've got a trophy to add to that momentum and that form. Now he'll be saying to that group of players in there, let's kick on now, because they'll be pushing for that third spot in the WSL and trying to use this win as a sort of a tool to galvanise their season.
Farah, what a special player Caroline Weir is.
Yeah, super special. Look, I was happy that she started the game today. I think she's crucial to this Manchester City team. I think she brings something different, but she's so comfortable on the ball. I think, she certainly complements Kira Walsh alongside her, but what she can do, she can complement Kira Walsh in sitting alongside her, but she gets herself into the box and is able to get goals, and both of her goals today were taken fantastically well.
Nice scenes down here as well as the Manchester City players behind us walking towards these Manchester City fans who have taken up most of this end of the stadium. This is the South London Movers stand, which we're just next to here, and it's been filled with City fans and their flags, and the City fans appreciative of those fans who've made the journey here, because it did at times today feel like it was a Chelsea home fixture. We're just a few miles from where they play their home matches, but these City fans are delighted in what they've seen here from their women. A really brilliant comeback, and Ellen White there running towards the fans, and she's grabbing something from one of the fans there. I thought she was going to get a flag, but I'm not quite sure what she's got hold of, but she's a fan's favourite, that's for sure. She's a fan's favourite for England, she's a fan's favourite for Manchester City, and she did today what she does best. She's such a poacher, isn't she?
She is. She's a fox in the box. She's ruthless. She's determined. I think her mentality, more than anything, is the strongest part of her game. I think it's that belief that she's got to always have an impact in terms of dominate that 6-yard box. And that's what she's done. She's capitalised on a mistake from Ann-Katrin Berger, who's palmed it, that second goal, out into the path of Ellen White. She's done so well to adjust, and that finish is, well, it's a poacher's finish.
She certainly has, and that 3-1 scoreline, of course, her goal coming in the middle of 2 Caroline Weir goals, which saw her being awarded Player of the Match, and Jo Curry is with her now.
Well, Caroline, that smile says it all, but how much did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, not so much the first half, we struggled a little bit, but came out in the second half. I think we upped the intensity, the quality, and yeah, we got an early goal which helped in the second half, and then we just went from there. And, you know, it was a top performance across the whole team today, so yeah, we're delighted to come out on top and win the trophy again.
What on earth is City feeding you at the moment? Because you cannot stop scoring.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, I found myself in the right positions at the right time. I think the first goal, obviously, it was a great ball from Georgia. She did so well on the right-hand side, and I was on the edge of the box. And obviously, the second goal fell to me in the right place, and I obviously hit it well, and it went in. So, yeah, no, delighted to score, but so happy that we won today.
When you think about the way that City started this season, it's been a difficult year for the players. Does that make this victory, this trophy, that little bit more sweet?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, it was clear to everyone that we struggled a little bit at the start of the season, but, you know, we kept working hard, keeping to our processes and training hard, and we knew things would turn around when everyone was back fit, and yeah, that showed today, and yeah, delighted for the team, delighted for all the staff behind the scenes, and yeah, we worked hard for it today.
Well, you are the player of the match, congratulations.
As Izzy said there just a moment ago, that they really got into the game early. They had to get that equaliser early. Caroline Weir did that, and it was, you know, as with everything she does, it was a classy finish.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think good play down the right-hand side. Farah was saying off air how they needed to use the flanks, and that's what they've done early in the second half. Georgia Stanway gliding into the box. Obviously, the run from Rasso distracts the defender's attention, and she's just Caroline Weir. If there's any player you want on the edge of the box for a cutback, it's Caroline Weir, I think, in the WSL. So exceptional finish.
Yeah, I think her timing into the box here is perfect. She just delays her run as she joins in the box. It's that cushion touch before she then executes and puts it into the bottom corner. Such a composed finish by Caroline Weir here, and it sets Man City on their way.
Yeah, and Caroline Weir rewarded with not just a great performance, a trophy, and the player of the match here, and a fantastic performance from her, but a fantastic team performance in that second half as well. You can see what it means to this squad of players, going up to their fans and letting them know that they appreciate them as well, travelling down here to London for this final. Gareth Taylor absolutely thrilled with the win, thrilled, you think, with the trophy as well. That's the second in his time as Chelsea manager. He's been in charge for a couple of seasons now, and he's experienced some ups, he's experienced some downs, he's won the FA Cup, and that could be a really a big turning point in their season in terms of momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a turning point for them. I think, look, we said before the game how they had a slow start in the league this season, and maybe that this cup finals come at the right time for them in terms of their momentum, in terms of their league form, and it showed that in the second half. I think, you know, we heard Caroline Weir say there the first half Man City were really slow out the blocks. But in the second half, they turned it on their head, and they dominated much of the second half and took their chances really well. So Gareth Taylor will be pleased with not just the performance in the second half, but a trophy in the cabinet.
Here's Ellen White with 2-1, Izzy, and you know, this, as you say, she's such a poacher. Not the most attractive of finishes, but she doesn't care.
No, she won't care one little bit. It's a cup final. She scored. We were saying again off air, Ann-Katrin Berger, we feel like she's done well to make the save. Lauren Hemp's gone across the keeper there, forced the save, but she's palmed it into an area where players like Ellen White, I mean, they're hungry, and that's an easy finish. I mean, she's done well to adjust her body, but it's an easy goal, quite sloppy from Chelsea, I must say. But, I mean, Ellen White delighted there, you can see, and a big goal to give them that lead against Chelsea.
Well, I tell you what, it's a cold night, isn't it, Farah, to have them hanging around this long for these presentations. They're building the presentation area where, of course, Chelsea will go and get their runners-up medals. But Manchester City will be going to lift the trophy shortly, and they're on the pitch waiting to be given that nod. It's obviously for Chelsea great disappointment. They won the treble last season, the domestic treble, and Emma Hayes is such a competitive manager. You know, she will be disappointed in the performance in the second half from her team.
Yeah, I think the mentality of this Chelsea team, they have a winning mentality that we spoke about before the game, and that they're serial winners, and so for them to lose this game, they're not going to be happy with it. You can see the disappointment on the Chelsea players' faces as they go to collect their runners-up medal. But look, they're bounced back from this, they're still in a title race and they're still in the FA Cup.
I think with Chelsea, obviously they'll be devastated to lose this, but they lost the opening game of the WSL this season to Arsenal, and then they used that, and that's what winners do. They bounce back. So I think with the likes of the other teams around them in the WSL, they should be quite scared of the fact that Chelsea are a wounded animal right now.
Absolutely. Well, more on that in just a moment, but let's hand you back to our commentary team of Rachel and Robin to take you through these presentations.
I guess very low key from the runners-up. Chelsea just collecting their medals. An unfamiliar feeling for these Chelsea players in recent years, especially domestically. So they've all collected their medals. It's time to see Manchester City collect their winners' medals. And it's great to see Steph Horton there, the England and Manchester City captain, down there on crutches after her Achilles surgery. And still part of the team. Still wearing shorts, unbelievably.
You can only presume whatever boot she has won't allow her to wear thermal underwear.
Gareth Taylor. A lot of questions asked of the Manchester City head coach, and he started to answer them. And the starting 11: Lucy Bronze, Ellie Roebuck, Alex Greenwood, Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh, Demi Stokes, and then the substitutes: Kiara Keating, who's played her part, 2 appearances in the Continental Cup this season. And that long trip from the Northwest has all been worth it. Just the second half alone was worth it. Alana Kennedy there, Caroline Weir, our player of the match. Corinne Beaumonier, Chloe Kelly, Ellen White puts on the medal for the Manchester City captain, Steph Horton, whose season has been cut short. That's Achilles injury. I'm sure she gave a team talk before the game. Steph Horton, a rallying cry, perhaps at half-time as well, and it seemed to work. Ellen White, the standing captain, has her hands on the trophy. A stuttering start, but they're ending the season with momentum. Manchester City, Continental Cup winners 2022.
Well, so many of these players have been in this position before, expect to win trophies, FA Cups, league titles, Continental Cups. And just until this point, hasn't quite come together as a City team. I was looking when you were calling out the names of those players, every single one of them senior international, other than Kiara Keating, young and youth international. They have the squad to win time and time again, and they absolutely deserved that trophy today.
A trophy in the cabinet, and they've stopped Chelsea's clean sweep of domestic trophies. This competition has been kind to City throughout their recent history, and it may just represent a really significant turning point.
Certainly was checkmate from Gareth Taylor. Whatever Emma Hayes set up against him, I do believe that they really were depleted with Frank Kirby, Erin Cuthbert, Jessie Fleming out. Man City deserved it.
A momentous win for Manchester City, League Cup winners 2022. A trophy in the cabinet for them.
Yeah, let's hear now though from losing manager from Chelsea, Emma Hayes, is with Joe Curry.
Emma, where did that one get away from you in the second half?
You know what, I think we didn't... I think first half we did enough without having control of the football in the way that we wanted. And I think that's what let us down today. We didn't keep the ball well enough. And then when it becomes quite transitional, I thought second half, Neve's off the pitch, we're down to 10, they get a goal, momentum shifted. And I thought the best team won the game over 90 minutes. I think for 45 minutes was okay, but over 90 the best team won it.
Was there an element of players switching off perhaps in that second half of the goals?
You know what, it's easy to make emotional remarks now. I think when it goes 2-1, 3-1, it becomes even more open. I think I've never seen us concede as poorly as we have done. And I thought we looked like we were missing a lot of experience in our team today, and it showed.
Are there lessons that you can take from this, though, into the business end of the season?
Look, I think we've beaten them. We were unbeaten against this team 10 times in a row, you know, so it's their day today, and well done, congratulations.
Thanks for speaking to us so much.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, Emma Hayes said it there, actually. Gareth Taylor's first ever professional managerial win against Manchester City. 7 times it's taken him. You know, they've been really tough opponents, Chelsea, for Manchester City, certainly for Gareth Taylor to unlock. And that, as well, is another big psychological step, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's starting to become a little bit like the battle of the managers as well as the teams. But I do agree with Rachel Brown-Finnis in what she said on the commentary just before, that Chelsea was somewhat depleted today. I think they really missed those 3 key players in Jessie Fleming, Erin Cuthbert and Fran Kirby.
And Fran, of course, such a late admission as well.
That's right, and obviously that changes, but I mean, that's where the depth of the squad comes into play. Anything can change at any given moment, so whichever player has started this game, because I presume Fran Kirby would have started this game, would have had to have been ready. So I think that they can't use that as an excuse, but I do think it's a factor in the way in which Chelsea approached this game.
Yeah, the Chelsea players have slowly made their way off the pitch, but the Man City players are busy celebrating with their fans, and their manager, Gareth Taylor, is with Joe Curry.
Gareth, huge congratulations. Whatever you said to them at half-time clearly had the desired result. What are your emotions after that one?
Just really proud of the players. I thought we were immense second half. We were so good. We knew we weren't great in the first half. We knew we had to tweak a few things. We spoke a little bit about belief and faith at half-time, and I don't think the players could have showed more of that in the second. We just went up so many levels, it was unbelievable, and we deserved winners.
Did you do the talking at half-time, or did the players know?
I think the players this is a really honest group. You know, we've been through tough moments, and we've come out of it the other side. We fully deserve to win this competition, you know. I think we've done great in that respect, and it's everyone, you know, it's not just the players who are here tonight. We've had obviously our injuries, which are obvious to see, but everyone, all of the staff, all of the players, the club as a whole, have been magnificent, and they deserve this.
Plenty of outstanding performances tonight, but at the moment Caroline Weir is an absolute goal-scoring machine. How important is she to this club?
Yeah, she's obviously really important, you know, she scores important goals, and but she realises the importance of the team, and that's what I would say the second half was all about, the team. The team of staff on the sidelines, the team of players who didn't get onto the pitch, and the players out there were unbelievable in their physical efforts.
How much of a celebration are you going to let them have this evening?
Well, try to control 25 young females can be hard at times, but look, they really deserve this. You know, like I said previously, you've got to celebrate the highs. I think what this gives us is massive belief going forward, and you know, you have to say Chelsea are a very good team. They've had the edge on us, there's no doubt about that. It's the first time we scored against them this season, and come the end we probably could have scored more than what we did. So yeah, just really proud of the players and the club.
Well done today, Gareth, thank you.
Joe. Thank you.
Yep, they've beaten them twice in the league, they've beaten them once in an FA Cup semi-final, but today, thanks to a fantastic performance from Caroline Weir, they beat them 3-1 finally at the 4th attempt. 3rd goal was pretty impressive, Farah.
Yeah, look, we spoke about Caroline Weir and how impressive she was in the game. Lauren James, she just loses her marker there, Lauren James. I think she switches off, and as the headers come back across goal and cleared, Caroline meets it nicely on the volley and just puts it in the back of the net.
You know what's interesting about that goal is they just made the change. Lauren James had just come on the field, and I think that's something, I mean, not singling her out here, she's a superb player, but that's a moment in her career with experience those moments will be eradicated from her game, but set pieces, know your job, and I just think she's probably not within the tempo of the game yet to track Caroline Weir, but I mean, nothing to take away from the fact that it's a superb finish.
Yeah, a wonderful finish from a great player who's having a fantastic season. And they've been blighted by injuries early on, which accounted for a lot of that form, basically, that was kind of, more defeats than they'd experienced before, and they've never finished outside of the top 2, have they, in the league? And so certainly for them, it's been a bumpy ride in this WSL, which is as competitive as it ever has been. That race for the title is really, really exciting, and perhaps they've got too much to do for that. They're still competitive on the FA Cup front as well, and they'll be pushing as hard as they can for a top 3 finish. And with today and the momentum they've got coming into this, Farah, you fancy them?
Yeah, look, they've got a big chance. Look, this City team aren't used to losing. They're certainly not used to conceding as many goals as they did coming into the start of the season. I think that really put them on the back foot. But what this City squad knew is that they had big players out and they were going to come back. And once those players were back, they could go on a good run of games and gain that momentum like they have done. But they've gone on a run of 8 games now, unbeaten. So they certainly come into this, you could arguably say come into this final favourites, with the form that they're in. But yeah, they're not used to losing. They're not used to conceding goals. But they've got a real good chance now of pushing to finishing that top 3.
Yeah, they had to beat Leicester, Everton, Tottenham on their way to this victory here. And Ellie Rebuck and herself, let's give her a word, because she made a couple of great saves today. She had a real good presence in the goal. She's had injuries herself this season, only just come back recently, and played for England against Germany as well, timing her run into form, her run into fitness really well.
Yeah, that's right. I think having Ellie back has probably been the most crucial player returning from a long-term absence for Manchester City. We speak a lot about Lucy Bronze, Steph Houghton, but Ellie Roebuck's been, especially over the last 2 seasons, so strong in the way that City play, not just in goal, but in terms of her distribution in possession. She's like having an extra centre-half on the field. So, yeah, her return has been integral, I think, for club and for country. But just going back to what Manchester City about their season, I think that it's very dangerous to be motivated by failure all the time. So I think for them turning around their form very quickly is very, very important.
Yeah, it's an interesting mindset, isn't it? A shift, actually, which if you're used to that and kind of and especially that kind of thing of playing an opposition that always get the better of you, turning that as they have done today into such a big positive can really shift a mindset, Farah.
Yeah, definitely. Look, and I think it's easier for this Manchester City team to shift that mindset from losing so many games to winning, because they've been so used to winning and they're so good at winning. So I think if it was a team that was used to losing, I think it would have been harder to shift that mindset. But look, they're a team full of winners, and so for them it was only a matter of time before they gain that momentum back.
Yeah, there she is, Ellen White, scorer of the second goal, which led to a 3-1 victory overall for Manchester City today over Chelsea, their old foes. The 4th time of asking this season, and that's their 4th League Cup as well. And Gareth Taylor's 2nd trophy ever for Manchester City. Thank you so much to Izzy and Farah for joining me this afternoon. We thoroughly enjoyed that. It is first blood this season, the first silverware of the season to Manchester City. From all of us, goodbye.
Well, these 2 teams have faced each other a lot, but it is the first time they'll play each other in a showcase women's final. But Sam Kerr, on instinct, turns it in and gives Chelsea the lead. Caroline Weir. Ellen White in the right place at the right time. Oh, and it's into the roof of the net. Caroline Weir once again. What a strike. Full time, a momentous victory for Manchester City.